Chapter 606. Shisheng's alibi was sufficient. When she left the store, the surveillance camera showed that Xiao Linglong was still standing behind Yifeng. Although her face was pale, she looked normal. Strangely, after Shisheng left, the surveillance camera broke down. However, the surveillance camera outside clearly recorded that Shisheng had been standing outside the store, and Han Xiao was a witness. Therefore, there was nothing suspicious about this matter, except for the false police report that she made in advance. The police officers who arrived one after another paid full attention to Shisheng. Was this psychopath possessed by the Grim Reaper? She really killed someone when she said so. Because the victim was the daughter of the famous jeweler Xiao Mao, Zhang Ju had to come personally. Of course, the main reason was that he heard that the psychopath, Shisheng, was present. Miss Liu, Zhang Ju said helplessly. Shisheng smiled. Long time no see, Zhang Ju. I don't want to meet a psychopath with violent tendencies. Ahem, long time no see. Miss Liu, are you here for dinner? Why else would I be here to kill someone? Zhang Ju. I'm going to call the mental hospital if you continue like this. Previously, they had asked someone to check if she was really mentally ill, but this girl's mind was clear. Except for a few scary words, she didn't do anything too out of line. They couldn't arrest her just because of her dangerous thoughts, could they? Because of this, the police station would probably be too busy to deal with it. Miss Liu, did you see anyone suspicious? Because no one was willing to record Shisheng's statement, Zhang Ju had to do it himself. I think everyone is suspicious. Why did Miss Liu make a false police report that someone killed someone? That way you can come faster. I really want to arrest her. After Zhang Ju finished asking the questions, he heaved a sigh of relief and said something that had to be said. Miss Liu, you can go back first. If you think of anything, remember to call us. You don't have to come in person. Don't waste your precious time. I don't want to see her. I don't want to see her plus, when I don't want to see her plus 10086. Shisheng was collectively despised by the police. The media arrived quickly. When they saw that Shisheng was in the police station, they couldn't stop imagining things. After the previous incident where Shisheng threatened to chop someone up, the reporters did not dare to get too close. At that time, no one had noticed where she had taken out the sword. Later, when they went back and thought about it, they realized that she might have hidden it on her body. For example, that kind of soft sword could be wrapped around the waist. A lunatic who could hide a sword on her body was very dangerous. As Xiao Linglong was killed in a public place, the police could not cover it up at all, so they did not have much time to solve the case. However, all the surveillance cameras in the store that might have captured useful information had been destroyed, and the most suspicious people had perfect alibis. Needless to say, Shisheng was a psychopath. Yifeng was fighting at that time, and such a large group of people could prove it. Where did this murderer come from? Chief Zhang, Liang Qing and Xiao Linglong both have illicit relations with Yifeng. This Yifeng is quite capable. Zhang Ju flipped through the documents in silence. One was a popular screen goddess, the other was the apple of a famous jeweler's eye, and both of them were related to Yifeng. This Yifeng was quite strange. He used to be a poor boy, and it was said that he worked several jobs a day. Later on, he became rich and became a new rich person in the circle. Shisheng felt that he was quite unlucky. He finally went out for a meal, but he encountered a murder and his car broke down on the way back. President Liu, how do you think Xiao Linglong was killed? Han Xiao asked carefully. When they came out, Xiao Linglong was still standing behind Yifeng. How long had it been? You want to know? You know? Han Xiao was surprised. She just wanted to discuss it with Shisheng. What don't I know? Shisheng laughed arrogantly. Then how did the murderer destroy the surveillance cameras in such a short time, and kill Xiao Linglong in the bathroom? Han Xiao asked curiously. Shisheng held his chin and looked out of the car. The murderer only needed to destroy the surveillance cameras. Xiao Linglong went into the bathroom by herself. As for killing her, it was even easier. She was poisoned by a chemical mixture. When she came out of the bathroom, she slipped on the floor. At that time there were many guests, so no one should be cleaning. But nothing happened at that time, so she didn't care. When Xiao Linglong was killed, She remembered this and the faint strange smell she smelled in the bathroom. Han Xiao was confused. What did he mean? Xiao Linglong went into the bathroom by herself? Why? When Yi Feng was beaten up, why did she go to the bathroom? How would I know why she went to the bathroom? She was not here to solve the case, she was here to eat. Shisheng suddenly opened the door and got out. President Liu, where are you going? Han Xiao called. Shisheng did not reply, so Han Xiao quickly got out of the car. Shisheng strode towards a black Bentley on the opposite side. She reached out to open the door, pulled out the person in the driver's seat, and peeked inside. The back of the car was empty. Shisheng pressed the driver against the door. Who told you to follow I? The driver trembled. No one told me to follow you. Shisheng raised his hand and was about to hit the driver. The driver immediately covered his head. I'm just here to deliver something. I don't know anything. The driver pulled a rose from the trunk. Shisheng. Retard. Shisheng grabbed the driver's collar and said in a gloomy tone, Tell Yi Jian if he dares to play these tricks again, I will kill him. The driver continued to tremble. He didn't seem to have said anything. He definitely didn't say anything. Shisheng let go of the driver and patted him on the shoulder with a faint smile. Help me pass a message. If you have the ability, come and see me yourself. What's the point of hiding in the back like a coward? The driver only felt that the girl in front of him was scary. No matter how he interpreted that sentence, it was still scolding him. The driver was afraid that Shisheng would hit him, so he nodded. She was indeed someone that young master liked. She was so violent. He was scared. How was he going to live in the future? Han Xiao was stunned. She couldn't keep up with her CEO's thoughts. Who was Yi Jian? The person who had been delivering things to Shisheng for no reason? How did President Liu know? How hard could it be for Shisheng to find out the person behind this? It was easy for Shisheng to confirm the identity of the person who could drive the security of Baiyan residents by following the internet and checking the person who appeared in the novel. Yi Jian. He was one of the villains in the novel. But he was a psychopath. It was said that he was temperamental and violent. What was more terrifying was that he had a special hobby. No one knew what kind of hobby it was. The plot didn't describe it in detail. As for why he was one of the villains, because the male lead had stepped on too many villains and all of them were very powerful. So Yi Jian could only get the title of one of the villains. He couldn't dominate the novel. December. It was the last month of the year. So please vote. Chapter 607. Banyan Residence, Villa Number 11. The LCD TV was broadcasting the news, and the content of the news was about Xiao Linglong's death. Young master. The man in a suit appeared out of nowhere and stood behind the sofa. He bowed respectfully to the sofa. A furry head slowly rose from the sofa, followed by a neck and then a face. Young master. The driver from before came forward, trembling. Miss Liu asked me to pass you a message. The driver was afraid that he would be strangled to death by his young master after he said that sentence. So, to seek a sense of security, the driver leaned towards the man in the suit and quickly repeated Shisheng's words. The news in the living room suddenly stopped and the whole place was silent. The driver's heart was beating like thunder. Was the young master going to strangle him? The driver saw Yi Jian stand up from the sofa, walk around the sofa and stand in front of him. The driver's legs were already trembling. The young master begged for mercy. The slender hand reached out towards him, getting closer and closer. The driver's pupils constricted and he tried to breathe in fresh air, but the air could not enter his lungs. The hand brushed past his neck and finally landed on his shoulder. The hand patted him gently. Go get your reward. The driver only seemed to be able to breathe after Yi Jian left the villa. His body went limp on the ground. He was scared to death. When Shisheng returned to the villa, she saw the man outside. He was quietly leaning against the carved iron door with his slender legs crossed. The sunlight was just right. It shone through the leaves and branches, scattering into mottled light and shadows, projecting on his body. Shisheng knew at first glance that this person was not Feng Ci, so she went over with her sword. That aggressive manner was simply as if he was here to seek revenge. Yi Jian wanted to act cool, but he was frightened by Anne's aggressive manner and immediately knelt down. Lu Xingge, let's talk nicely. He reached out his hand and signaled Shisheng to stop. Shisheng's iron sword hit the iron door. Clang! The sound echoed far away, accompanied by her voice. What do I have to talk to you about? Who the hell are you? Yi Jian looked at the shiny iron sword beside him and smiled. You know who I am. It's pointless to ask such a question. A gentle breeze blew through his hair, and mottled specks of light flashed across his clear eyes like flickering shadows. Shisheng's iron sword approached Yi Jian. I'm Yi Jian. Yi as in leaves and Jian as in Shi Jian. Yi Jian's handsomeness didn't last more than 3 seconds. Shisheng pressed his iron sword against Yi Jian and asked fiercely, why did you give me this? I've taken a liking to you. Yi Jian pulled a long face. You fit the criteria of my fiancé very well. You're not rich, you're pretty, and you have a good figure. No money? Looks? Good figure? Asterisk flips table asterisk, what the hell is this? Who told you I don't have money? I'm about to lose control of the primordial power in my body. Yi Jian could only feel a gust of cold air approaching him. The sunlight reflected from the iron sword into his eyes. It was as if the cold air had seeped into his internal organs. The iron sword slashed through the air, and the whistling sound was magnified countless times. Yi Jian didn't expect that she would really dare to make a move. Well, almost everyone didn't think of this problem. Yi Jian dodged backward at the last moment. Although he was fast enough, his clothes were still cut by the iron sword. The cloth fluttered in the air and fell down. The sharp iron sword suddenly pierced through it, and went straight for Yi Jian. Yi Jian stepped back awkwardly. He grabbed the trunk beside him and quickly climbed up. With a whoosh, the lush green leaves around him were now falling down from the sky. The air was filled with killing intent, and it seemed like he would be crushed into pieces with just a single step. Yi Jian stood on the tree trunk without any leaves. His posture was a bit desolate. Lu Xingge, I'll be back. Yi Jian suddenly shouted out a classic line. He quickly jumped down from the tree trunk and ran out of the area. Don't run if you dare. Do you think I'm retarded if I don't run? Yi Jian took the time to reply. Come and chase me if you dare. King retarded. Shisheng suddenly raised his hand and swung his sword. It was like a tornado. The fallen leaves were swept up into the air and rushed towards Yi Jian. Yi Jian's expression changed slightly. He quickly ran to the side. When he ran past a corner, the tornado of fallen leaves suddenly lost its power. The fallen leaves scattered all over the ground. Yi Jian let out a sigh of relief. It seemed like there was a distance. This Lu Xingge was hard to deal with. The key was her sword. Yi Jian narrowed his eyes and walked towards another path. Soon he disappeared into the shadows of the tree trunk. When the staff saw the bare branches, they were all confused. The leaves were all there. Why were the leaves of this tree missing? This tree was right outside Shisheng's house. Of course, they had to ask. Then they got the following answer. I don't know. Why would I stare at the tree all day? Maybe it felt that its clothes weren't good enough and wanted to change. Asterisk flips table asterisk, do you think it's a human? Change? How? It's all F asterisk king bald. Then they heard Shisheng say slowly. Maybe it likes to run around naked. All the staff. Hey, is this why? I want to call the police. There's a crazy person here. She said a tree likes to run around naked. The staff was even more dumbfounded when they discovered that the ground was covered with what seemed to be the leaves of this big tree tens of meters away. Supernatural event? That was scary. The staff quickly checked the surveillance footage. However, Yi Jian had already deleted it. This undoubtedly made the staff even more sure that this was a supernatural event. Later on, the tree kept running around naked. It didn't die, but it didn't grow leaves either. All the experts came to check, but they couldn't find anything. After this tree was reported, it became a wonder of the Bainian residents. Later on, it became a mystery of the Bainian residents. Of course, this was in the future. Xiao Linglong's case couldn't find a suspect. The suspects that the police investigated all had alibis. Although the police tried very hard, they still couldn't find anything. This became an unsolved case. Xiao Mao lost his beloved daughter. Moreover, she went out with Yifeng. Plus, Yifeng and Liang Qing's ambiguous relationship made Xiaomao dislike Yifeng. Yifeng and Xiaomao's cooperation broke down. Yifeng's mission continued to fail. Mission failed 5 times. The kidnapper will receive severe punishment. The kidnapper will also lose the right to bind. Please remember this. On the phone screen, the bold red reminder was particularly eye-catching. The veins on Yifeng's forehead popped out. The hand that was holding the phone tightened. He had already failed 3 missions. If he failed 2 more times, he would have to receive some kind of severe punishment. No. He couldn't fail again. The 3 failures gave Yifeng a lot of pressure, and the notification from the software was more like a huge diamond, pressing down on Yifeng, making him unable to breathe. However, it also made him unwilling to give up this diamond that could bring him endless wealth. Yifeng returned to the homepage. He looked at the only mission on it and clicked accept. Asterisk the self-cultivation of a tycoon ha. Chapter 608. Shisheng didn't know how she attracted Yi Jian, the psychopath. Yi Jian kept flirting with her after he was chopped last time. But when he saw that Shisheng was about to take out his sword, he immediately ran away. Shisheng was so angry that he scratched the wall. If this was in ancient times, who knows how many times you would have died. Compared to Yi Jian, Shisheng was more reluctant to see Mu Bai, but he couldn't hide from him. Mu Bai came to visit. Shisheng felt that if he locked him outside, it would show that he was afraid of him, so Shisheng let Mu Bai in. Shut the door and beat the pervert. There are always idiots who want to harm me. Does the host have paranoia? Master, come back quickly, the host's condition is getting worse. It's going to become a useless system. Miss Liu, you seem to be afraid of me? Mu Bai took a sip of tea elegantly and asked slowly. Shisheng sat opposite him, crossed his arms and stared at Mu Bai arrogantly. Afraid of you? Who do you think you are? She had checked Mu Bai's information. From the information, this man was no doubt the pride of the heavens. No matter what he did, he was better than others. He was like the illegitimate child of the heavens. But he wasn't a character in the plot. Such a powerful character. Even if he wasn't Yifeng's stepping stone, he must be Yifeng's friend. But the plot didn't even mention Mu Bai's name. Mu Bai put down the teacup and said in a low voice, "Then why is it that Miss Liu is unhappy every time you see me? Why should I be happy when I see you?" Shisheng suddenly smiled maliciously. The malice in that smile was so obvious that Mu Bai couldn't help but notice it. He heard her say in a strange tone, "Maybe I'll be happier if you strip naked. It would be more convenient to chop him." Mu Bai? The two looked at each other silently. Their eyes met in the air, as if it could ignite layers of sparks. Shisheng was too calm. The smile on her face made Mu Bai very uncomfortable. He suddenly had the idea of running away. As soon as this thought popped up in his mind, Mu Bai extinguished it. He took the initiative to avert his gaze, and placed a gilded invitation card in front of Shisheng. "Miss Liu, this is a large auction that will be held in the near future. I believe you will be interested." Shisheng glanced at him, and bent down to press on the corner of the invitation. He slid the invitation through the transparent glass to his front, and flipped open the invitation with his fingers. A secret that time cannot bury. The theme of the auction. Shisheng retracted his hand. "I'm a bankrupt CEO now. What's wrong with you sending me an invitation?" The corners of Mu Bai's mouth curled up a little. His entire aura seemed to have changed. He slowly said, "Miss Liu, perhaps there's something you want in here? Do you know what I want?" She didn't want anything, only things that belonged to her. "Whether I know or not, Miss Liu will know when you get there." Mu Bai stood up and bowed slightly. "Goodbye." Shisheng moved his fingers, and the air was distorted for a moment. Mu Bai's figure suddenly paused. He turned his head and asked, "Miss Liu, what do you think of Xiao Linglong's case?" "It's none of my business." "Miss Liu, didn't you find it strange when you slipped in front of the toilet?" Mu Bai seemed to be trying to lead Shisheng to something. "It's none of your business." Mu Bai's expression changed slightly. He changed the topic. "The tree outside Miss Liu's door has a very unique design." Shisheng smiled and said, "If Mr. Mu likes it, I can give you a unique design for free." Mu Bai. He opened the door and walked out. The iron sword only appeared in Shisheng's hand after Mu Bai's figure disappeared. As soon as Mu Bai left, Yi Jian parked his car in front of Shisheng's house and honked furiously to create a lot of noise. If it weren't for the fact that the nearby villa was very far away, Yi Jian would definitely be hung up and beaten. Shisheng went out with the sword. Han Xiao happened to be coming back from outside, and quickly went around Yi Jian's car. Han Xiao blocked Shisheng's way. "Miss Lu, have you seen the news?" "What news?" Xiao Linglong's nanny was packing her things today, and somehow found the bracelet lucky. Lucky. Previously, Liang Qing was also killed after showing off the bracelet lucky. Now Xiao Linglong is the same. The media is reporting that there's more to Liang Qing's case. They're asking for a retrial to give Liang Qing justice. "What does this have to do with me?" Shisheng asked indifferently. "Because Miss Lu is now involved in another scandal." Yi Jian got out of the car and followed Han Xiao in. "Miss Lu, do you need a bodyguard?" "I need fertilizer." Shisheng grinned and revealed a sinister smile. Yi Jian shuddered and goosebumps covered his entire body. However, he still had an intoxicating smile on his face. "I'm willing to risk my life for Miss Lu. However, Miss Lu, can you allow me to take care of my parents?" "Get lost. Miss Lu, you're so fierce. If you can't get married in the future, you can consider me." Yi Jian started to step back. This woman is going crazy. Can't get married. I need to get married. This idiot. Yi Jian quickly returned to the car. After getting in, he got out and placed an invitation card beside the metal gate. "Miss Lu, there's something good this time. If you need a car to pick you up, I'm always available." "President Lu, this Mr. Yi?" Han Xiao scratched her head in confusion. He didn't have much interaction with President Lu before. Why did he suddenly pester President Lu? She suddenly held her face and said in surprise, "President Lu, he doesn't really like you, does he?" "Why do you think he likes me?" Shisheng looked at Han Xiao. She didn't see any liking from Yi Jian. A person's liking wasn't only shown on the outside. If he doesn't like you, why does he always give you things? And flirting with you all the time? Maybe he's an idiot. Shisheng's eyes darkened. "What did you just say?" Han Xiao remembered what she wanted to tell Shisheng, and instantly forgot about Yi Jian. The bracelet lucky had appeared beside the two victims. Although Liang Qing said it was fake, the netizens found out that Liang Qing didn't receive any gifts from her fans during that period of time. Plus, the Weibo post that Liang Qing deleted was even more suspicious. Later, some experts compared the photos that Liang Qing had not deleted on Weibo with the real photo of Lucky. They concluded that the bracelet in Liang Qing's photo was real. Xiao Linglong didn't need to say anything. The Xiao family was in the jewelry business. If they didn't have good eyesight, there was no need for them to be in the jewelry business. So now the two victims were related to the bracelet. Could Lucky really bring lucky? This question became the main concern of the netizens. Yi Jian. "Miss Lu, do you need a boyfriend?" Shisheng. "I need a driver." Yi Jian. "Old driver?" Shisheng. "Little fairy. Old driver, help me. I want to ask for a ticket." Chapter 609. The consequence of this incident was that Shisheng was involved again. Not only was she a suspect in Liang Qing's case, but she had also appeared at the scene of Xiao Linglong's death. The netizens thought it was impossible for such a coincidence. She was a suspect in Liang Qing, and she was at the scene of Xiao Linglong's death. This was definitely premeditated. Xiao Linglong didn't have many fans, but she had the Xiao family behind her, so Shisheng, the bankrupt CEO, was in a bad situation. Of course, this was in the eyes of outsiders. In fact, Shisheng was living a carefree life. "Are you really not angry, Miss Lu?" The netizens were slandering Miss Lu. Liang Qing's murderer had been caught, and Miss Lu had an alibi for Xiao Linglong's case. But these netizens were still slandering her. "You'll get older if you're angry." Shisheng pointed at the corner of Han Zhao's eyes. "Look at the wrinkles." Miss Lu. She wasn't in the mood to care about wrinkles. Their mouths and hands are on their bodies. I can't chop them off, right? Shisheng couldn't help rolling his eyes. Do you want me to dominate the prison? I'll definitely be the flower of the prison. Han Xiao was speechless. You're still in the mood to joke at this time. Miss Lu Yuan. It was impossible to be the flower of the prison. It was possible to be the flower of the prison. As a bankrupt CEO and a lunatic who was suspected of being a murderer, Shisheng naturally received a lot of scrutiny and suspicion for attending such a high-end auction. Mu Bai saw Shisheng first and he walked straight to him. Miss Lu, you're here. I don't know you well. Shisheng walked around him. Mu Bai was speechless. After a while he said, Miss Lu, you're not familiar with this place. Why don't I show you the way? I'll take care of Shinga. You don't have to trouble yourself, Mr. Mu. A voice suddenly interrupted. Yi Jian walked to Shisheng and smiled at Shisheng. Why didn't Shinga wait for me? There are so many people here. I'll be worried if you get lost. Shisheng put on a fake smile and took a step back. Do I know you well? Yi Jian's smile froze. He blinked hard at Shisheng. Give me some face. One was a lunatic, the other a pervert. Shisheng did not want to have anything to do with them at all. So when Yi Jian desperately asked her to give him some face, she turned around and left. The two men were left staring at each other. Don't even think about it. Don't even think about it. The two of them spoke almost at the same time. Then the two of them looked at each other for 3 seconds before turning around at the same time and leaving. Shisheng took the invitation and entered the auction venue. The lighting inside was a little dim, and many seats were already occupied. Shisheng found his seat and sat down, only to find that the person sitting next to him was Chief Zhang. Zhang Ju. Why did he have to meet this lunatic? Chief Zhang, are you investigating the case? Shisheng sat down and crossed her legs. The dim light outlined the curves of her chest, making her look very attractive. Why can't I attend the auction? Director Zhang glared at Shisheng. You don't have money. Shisheng hit the nail on the head. You don't have money either. Director Zhang was not convinced. This lunatic was already bankrupt. How could she say that others were poor? How do you know I don't have money? Shisheng retorted. If you have money, will you go bankrupt? Shisheng's eyebrows were full of arrogance. I want it to go bankrupt. So it went bankrupt. Director Zhang. Your parents will jump up and beat you to death if they know. No, she actually said that she wanted it to go bankrupt. Did she think that it was a shop that could be closed at will? Director Zhang felt that he was going to have a heart attack again. Nothing good happened every time he met this lunatic. Director Zhang wished that he could stay 100 meters away from Shisheng, but this seat could not be swapped. And his seat could not be swapped either. You still dare to come out, you're quite brave. Director Zhang changed the topic abruptly. It's all because of your incompetence. Director Zhang. You might as well not have changed the topic. Director Zhang decided to be a quiet director and not talk nonsense with this lunatic. Fortunately, the auction started not long after. Mu Bai and Yi Jian sat in the front seats, and there was an empty seat next to them. They looked at each other at the same time and saw the empty seat. A question flashed through their minds at the same time. Where did she get the invitation? Where did Shisheng get the invitation? As the bankrupt CEO, she definitely could not get it. But as the seller, of course she could get an invitation. The things in her space were all rare treasures. It was easy for her to get an invitation. Yi Feng came in at the end of the auction, with a woman beside him. Shisheng searched through all of Yi Feng's women, and found that none of them matched. Yi Feng's new woman? Awesome male lead. In such a short time, he managed to get such a woman. It seemed that she was not simple. Shisheng moved closer to Director Zhang. Is this all you have? Director Zhang's heart skipped a beat. He gave Shisheng a warning glare and looked around. Miss Lu, don't talk nonsense. What's there to be afraid of? Shisheng said indifferently. Anyway, anyone with eyes can see it. Puff. Director Zhang glared at Shisheng. Could he hit Yao Yaoling? Hurry up and drag this psychopath away. No, he was Yao Yaoling. What do you mean, Miss Lu? Director Zhang resisted the urge to jump up and hit Shisheng and asked shamelessly. They thought that they had disguised themselves well. How could this psychopath expose them so easily? Do you know what kind of people are here today? Shisheng was bored, so he decided to argue with Director Zhang. Director Zhang nodded. Of course he knew. Otherwise, why would the criminal police be here? So you think you can blend into this group of people without being noticed? They were not in the same class. In an event full of high-end goods, these low-paid criminal police always felt out of place. Zhang Ju. Was she implying that he had no money in a roundabout way? So angry. Director Zhang cursed her in his heart. After poking her a few times, he gritted his teeth and asked, Miss Liu, what do you think? No. Shisheng paused. Even if I did, I wouldn't tell you. Director Zhang was about to go crazy with anger. Shisheng suddenly laughed maliciously and pointed to a person on Director Zhang's left. That person disguised himself well. He's a nouveau riche. Anyway, it's understandable that he doesn't know the rules. Is that set of equipment sponsored by the auction? His disguise is not bad. You can still see through him. He keeps peeking at you. Unless you think he has a crush on you. Shisheng spread his hands and sat up straight. At this moment, the auctioneer had already entered the auction stage. Director Zhang was fuming, but he could not say anything. He focused all his attention on the surroundings. The items being auctioned today were priceless. Although they only had a few people inside, the crowd outside was already impenetrable. November 29th, 2016 Book Review Baby, Shallow Dream Mashi November 30th, 2016 Book Review Baby, and Who There are monthly votes today. Please, please, please. Please monthly votes. Please monthly votes. Please votes. Chapter 610. Today's auction was all for the angel's heart. Say this thing can bring curses, but these idiots are still willing to spend money on it. Are they retarded? Shisheng and Zhang Ju were chatting. Zhang Ju didn't feel like chatting. He was working. He was a dedicated person. How could he chat casually during working hours? He could only complain in his heart. You said they were retarded, but you still asked me if I was retarded. Did you forget to take your medicine? Shisheng said casually, stop looking. According to the law, even if someone really comes, you won't be able to stop them. What law? Zhang Ju asked. Why couldn't they stop them? They were the police. How could this idiot look down on them? Shisheng gave Zhang Ju a serious answer. The law of novels. The male lead was here. If someone really came to snatch the item, it would have nothing to do with the police. The male lead would be the winner. Zhang Ju almost vomited blood. Was she really not here to cause trouble? The first few auctions went smoothly until the final auction, the Heart of Angel. When the Heart of Angel was pushed out, Shisheng felt a strange power. The spirit chi in this world was very weak. However, when the angel's heart appeared, Shisheng felt that the spirit chi was even weaker. In the blink of an eye, there was no spirit chi in the entire space. All the spirit chi escaped from the auction house. It wasn't being absorbed. It was escaping. The spirit chi was afraid of the angel's heart. What was it made of? How could it be so powerful? After the auctioneer finished explaining a lot of useless information, he opened the cover. The item inside was immediately presented to everyone. Its color was brighter than Lucky's. It looked like a living heart. It was as if it could beat in the next second. Shisheng couldn't refute that the angel's heart was exquisitely made. However, Shisheng didn't like the aura it emitted. It wasn't dark or evil. It was a kind of bewitchment. It bewitched people to get it and own it. Shisheng suddenly curled his lips in disdain. I guess the sculptor fed it with blood. Shisheng communicated with the system in his mind. Yes. He's courting death. He's long dead. The system reminded Shisheng. That's why he left the mess to his descendants. Shisheng continued to snort. I'm not going to clean up his mess. It's not easy to deal with him. This was not a diamond at all. It was a type of jade. In the ancient records of her world, this type of jade was called blood jade. If one fed it with blood, it could develop intelligence and be used to control it. The best blood jade was translucent. The bigger the blood jade, the stronger the spiritual intelligence it developed. However, if the spiritual intelligence that was born was not properly guided, it would become an evil spirit that fed on desires. In order to obtain more desires, It would constantly stimulate the desires in the bottom of the human's heart to strengthen itself. It was said that evil spirits could leave the blood jade and possess a physical body after consuming a certain amount of desire. He wanted her to deal with this kind of thing? What a joke. It would take a lot of effort but not a lot of benefits, and he refused with his strength. Furthermore, host, only you can complete this mission. Bullshit. Where did you put the male lead? This kind of setting was obviously a cheat for the male lead. Even if you say that I can save the Milky Way, I will not do this mission. Host, can you not be so capricious? I'm giving you points. You don't even want to earn points. It's too troublesome. You can just slash it with your sword. What's so troublesome about it? It's tiring to wield a sword. Speechless. Such a capricious host was the only one in the world. If Shisheng said he would not do it, then he would definitely not do it. Therefore, during the bidding for the angel's heart, he watched coldly from the sidelines. Compared to the lucky bracelet, the base price of the angel's heart was in the tens. The rich people just watched and did not dare to make a sound. Only the rich people raised their signs. Zhang Ju's expression was a little strange, probably because he had never seen such a cruel scene. Miss Liu, are you not going to participate in the bidding? Zhang Ju suddenly turned his head and asked Shisheng. Shisheng shrugged. I don't have money. Zhang Ju. This capricious psychopath. Bang. The lights in the hall suddenly went out. The whole auction hall was plunged into darkness. The panicked voices of the crowd filled the hall. Don't panic. Sit where you are and don't move. Zhang Ju shouted, but no one listened to him. There were chaotic footsteps and screams all around. The crowd rushed out of the hall in panic. Shisheng quietly stood at the edge of the wall to prevent himself from being hurt by the panicked people. The lights came back on in 2 minutes. The scene was very chaotic. Shisheng saw Mu Bai and Yi Jian first. Both of them were standing not far from where she was sitting before. When the lights came back on, Yi Jian was the first to look around. When he saw Shisheng leaning against the wall, he rushed towards her. Lu Xingge, are you okay? I'm not dead. Yi Jian. Who asked if you were dead? Mu Bai only looked at her from afar. He did not come over. Ah. Suddenly someone screamed and pointed at the auction stage. The angel's heart is gone. The auctioneer and 2 MCs were lying on the ground. No one knew if they were dead or unconscious. The angel's heart, on the auction stage, was nowhere to be seen. Zhang Ju looked at Shisheng, who was leaning against the wall with a complicated expression. This psychopath's words came true. After the investigation, the police found that the thief had sneaked in through the MCs. As for whether he had an accomplice, it was still unknown. The MCs had been working here for many years. They knew each other very well, but they were still caught off guard. Everyone at the auction had to give a statement. Yi Jian was forced to separate from Shisheng. Who would give the statement to Shisheng became a problem. In the end, Zhang Ju was the one to do it. After all, he was the closest to her just now. Although her statement would not be of any use. Miss Liu, did you see anything when the lights were turned off? Shisheng glanced at Zhang Ju. Just when Zhang Ju thought that she was going to argue with him, she suddenly said something that shocked Zhang Ju. I know who has the angel's heart. Do you want to know? Zhang Ju looked serious. Miss Liu, this is not a joke. Forget it if you don't believe me. Shisheng spread his hands and did not intend to say anything else. Say it. Zhang Ju gritted his teeth. I don't want to say it. I wanted to say it, but you didn't want to listen. Now that you want to hear it, I have to say it? I don't want to. This was the only thing missing from Shisheng's face. Zhang Ju almost jumped in anger. Do you have any tranquilizers? Give him a shot. Bah. Give this psychopath a shot. In the end, Zhang Ju disregarded his dignity and pestered Shisheng for a long time before he finally got a name out of her. Are you sure? Zhang Ju looked serious. If you talk nonsense, I will definitely send you to the mental hospital. Shisheng smiled brightly. Look at what you're saying, Zhang Ju. You said that I'm crazy. Of course you can't believe what I say, unless you're crazy too. F*CKU, you're the crazy one. Zhang Ju. #hashtag today's taro flavored ticket #daily jam hahaha today's Q&A. What's the name of the director of the Rose Wedding Special Task Force? Just reply below this chapter. The first answer has to be correct. Chapter 611. Zhang Ju felt that he might really be sick. He actually believed the words of a psychopath. It was mainly because she was too sure of herself. That serious expression made it easy for people to believe that she was telling the truth. The facts proved that she was telling the truth. I don't know why it's on me. Yi Feng tried his best to explain. How can you arrest people so casually? Mr. Yi, the evidence is conclusive. If you have anything to say, save it for the police station. The police officer quickly handcuffed Yi Feng. Yi Feng was anxious, but no matter what he said, he couldn't change the fact that the angel's heart was on him. Shisheng happened to pass by Yi Feng. She paused. Mr. Yi, don't be so blind when you're looking for a woman. This sentence was inexplicable. Yi Feng thought about it and understood the key point. His face suddenly turned pale. He was used by someone. Lu Xingge. Yi Feng roared. Are you mocking me? Yeah, I'm mocking you. Shisheng nodded. She didn't add insult to injury when the male lead was in trouble. Was she stupid? Lu Xingge, don't be so happy. I'll be fine. This has nothing to do with me. Yi Feng calmed down. He didn't know who that woman was. Even if the angel's heart was on him, it couldn't prove that he stole it. It's okay. Come out and I'll get you in. The smile on her face was so bright, but Yi Feng couldn't feel the slightest bit of warmth. Facing her pair of dark eyes, Yi Feng always felt like he was standing at the edge of a cliff, the biting cold wind blowing past his body, swaying and about to fall into the abyss. Yi Feng swallowed hard. His voice was hoarse. Do you hate me that much? Shisheng leaned closer to Yi Feng and said in a cold tone. The one who hates you is Lu Xingge, and I am just the person who avenged Lu Xingge. So I don't hate you. I just want to kill you. Shisheng deliberately dragged the word just. It was like a sharp thorn that pierced into Yi Feng's heart. His eyes widened and his mind suddenly became clear. You're not Lu Xingge. Lu Xingge liked him so much. How could she do this to him? Why didn't he think of this before? Miss Lu. The police officer saw that Yi Feng was agitated and immediately stepped forward. Please don't talk to the suspect casually. What if the suspect is provoked? She is not Lu Xingge. Yi Feng pointed at Shisheng with both hands and said to the police officer who came over, She is not Lu Xingge. The police officer looked at Shisheng silently. What did you do with him in such a short period of time? He was so agitated. The police ignored Yi Feng's yelling and hurriedly took him away. What did he mean by that? Yi Jian popped out of nowhere. You're not Lu Xingge? Then who are you? Shisheng turned around and smiled. I'm God. Are you crazy? Lu Xingge, wait for me. Yi Jian caught up with Shisheng in a few steps. Lu Xingge, are you really not going to consider being my fiancé? Gods and mortals cannot fall in love. It's okay. I'm actually a god too. I just didn't have the time to tell you. I like mortals. I can descend to the mortal world for you. Everyone. Which mental hospital released these two idiots? Hurry up and drag them back. After leaving the auction, Yi Jian followed Shisheng step by step and discussed whether gods and mortals could fall in love. Shisheng walked to his car, and Yi Jian followed him. Shisheng suddenly grabbed Yi Jian's collar and pushed him against the car window. Yi Jian's beautiful face was infinitely enlarged in his eyes. Lu Xingge, let's talk. Yi Jian had no way out. He could only look at her stiffly. What do you want? Shisheng gritted his teeth and asked. I'm pursuing you. Yi Jian said quickly. Can't you see? Shisheng's fingers squeezed Yi Jian's neck and tightened slightly. I'll give you one more chance. I really just want to pursue you. Yi Jian felt that in front of this woman, he would be strangled to death if he even spoke loudly. Shisheng nodded. His expression suddenly became gloomy. He opened the car door and threw Yi Jian in. Yi Jian. What are you doing? Shisheng quickly got into the car and stepped on the accelerator in front of Yi Jian's dumbfounded gaze. Yi Jian did not wear a seatbelt. Due to the tilting of the car, his head hit the car window. Bang! He saw stars. Without a safety belt, Yi Jian experienced the passion and speed of the ride. The car's speed was touching. Shisheng sped the car and brought Yi Jian to the foot of a mountain. She carried him and walked up. Yi Jian's stomach was churning. Lu Xingge, where are you taking me? They were in the middle of nowhere. She was not going to kill him, was she? Kill him. Shisheng's voice overlapped with Yi Jian's thoughts. Yi Jian subconsciously hugged a tree next to him. Lu Xingge, I was just pursuing you and you want to kill me? Aren't you too cold-blooded? Shouldn't a normal person's reaction be to kill someone? Yes, I know I'm cold-blooded. Shisheng pried Yi Jian's hand away without changing his expression. I don't need you to remind me. Yi Jian used a lot of strength, but Shisheng still pried him away and dragged him up the mountain. At the top of the mountain, Shisheng pushed Yi Jian to the edge of a cliff. So, do you want to tell me why you were pursuing me? Will you not kill me if I tell you? Yi Jian looked behind him and his heart raced. Depends on my mood. Yi Jian. So why did he have to deal with such a difficult woman? Yi Jian raised his head and met Shisheng's gaze. Are you really not Lu Xingge? The Lu Xingge he knew was not so tough. Does it matter? Shisheng's eyes curved. Or, is the person you're pursuing actually Lu Xingge from the original plot? Yi Jian narrowed his eyes and looked Shisheng up and down for a moment. You're a mission enforcer too? So that's it. Shisheng showed a look of understanding. Yi Jian was a little confused. Didn't they say that there was only one mission enforcer in each plot? Why would he meet other mission enforcers? There were other mission enforcers. So he really wasn't the only one. Oh my God, my fellow townsmen, I'm so excited. Your mission is to pursue Lu Xingge? Shisheng looked at Yi Jian from head to toe a few times. Seeing that his fellow townsman was so excited, Yi Jian quickly nodded. His mission was very simple. It was to pursue those 10,000-year-old female supporting characters and change their endings so that they could live happily ever after. What's your mission? Yi Jian asked with a burning gaze. Kill the male and female protagonists. Yi Jian. The system told him that, if an external force killed the male and female protagonists, the world would collapse. Request votes. Request votes. Request votes. Acting cute. Chapter 612. Shisheng thought that Yi Jian came from the same world as her, but after communicating with Yi Jian, she realized that Yi Jian was not from her world at all. So Yi Jian should still exist in the storyline? System, explain. I don't really want to explain. Host, you should know some doujinshi strategy novels. Yi Jian used this storyline to woo Lu Xingge and change her ending. So you're saying that the storyline I'm experiencing now is actually a storyline with Yi Jian as the main character? You can understand it that way. Oh, so Mu Bai is Yi Jian's lover? Host, what are you thinking about? Aren't all doujinshi strategy novels like this? So should I kill Yi Jian now? Who told you that this is a doujinshi strategy novel? Yi Feng is the luckiest one here. Don't kill the innocent. Weird, there's something wrong with this sentence. Seeing that Yi Jian didn't have any bad intentions towards Lu Xingge, Shisheng magnanimously didn't kill him. It was Yi Jian who begged you out of fear, and you let him go because you were in a good mood. Yi Jian. He didn't really want to talk. It wasn't easy for him to obtain a high and mighty status. In the end, he didn't even have the chance to act cool before he was crushed into dregs. How did you know that the angel's heart was with Yi Feng? Yi Jian thought of something important. Shisheng gave him a meaningful smile. How did you know that I said it? Yi Jian's eyes darted around. As a mission target, of course I'm paying attention to you all the time. The woman's smile was so scary. She looked like a psychopathic murderer who was about to cut up a corpse. Although Yi Jian already knew that Shisheng was a mission enforcer, he also realized that this mission enforcer was obviously not a newbie. As a nobody, he had to suck up to an experienced one. I just said it casually, Shisheng said slowly. Just said it casually and you got it right? Yi Jian was surprised. He was indeed an experienced one. Shisheng said mysteriously, maybe I have the ability to predict the future. What's there to guess about the storyline? The woman who followed Yi Feng in, indeed looked like a fair, rich, and beautiful woman, but her eyes were too alert. From the moment she entered the venue, she quickly sized up the venue and looked at the position of the plainclothed police several times. If Shisheng could not tell, she would be too ashamed to say that she was invincible. In the plot, Yifeng had a woman who was an assassin, but this assassin was also a godly thief. Looking at them today, Yifeng should have just met this assassin not long ago. According to the normal course of events, Yifeng should have safely left with the heart of angel and taken it for himself. When the assassin came looking for him, he did this to her, and then that to her. The assassin immediately changed sides and became Yifeng's woman. But now that Yifeng was caught, wouldn't the assassin tear Yifeng apart? Just thinking about it made him quite excited. Shisheng's exaggerated expression made Yi Jian realize that she was fooling him. Shisheng got up and walked down the mountain. Yi Jian quickly followed him. What's your level? What's your name? Do you remember what you used to do before you did the mission? Yi Jian's questions came one after another. He used to be a lofty psychopath, but now he became a talkative psychopath. Yi Jian, I'm so excited to see a fellow villager. That Mubai, Lu Xingge, be careful. I think there's something wrong with him, Yi Jian suddenly said. At first, Yi Jian was about to say something, but Shisheng interrupted him. What's wrong? Of course there was something wrong with that psychopath. I don't know, but I think he's quite weird. Yi Jian was in a dilemma. When he saw Mubai, he wanted to argue with him. Usually, the people that he wanted to argue with were not good people. He's not your lover? Lover? What nonsense are you talking about? I'm straight, okay. Perfectly straight. Yi Jian was furious. Usually, people who say they're straight will soon find out that they're gay. Shisheng looked at Yi Jian's lower body with evil intentions. You can try it with that psychopath who knows, maybe you are? Hashtag on the correct direction of Tanmei1 hashtag, Lu Xingge. I'm going to get angry. Even if you're from the same hometown, you can't talk nonsense. I'm a straight man. I can push you down even if you want to go to heaven. Yi Jian. This mission can't be done. Shisheng went down the mountain, got into the car and started it. His actions were smooth and fluid. Hey, Lu Xingge, let me get in the car. Yi Jian tried to open the car door, but found that he couldn't open it. Shisheng rolled down the car window and waved at him. Walk back by yourself. We're in the middle of nowhere, and it's going to be dark soon. How can you ask me to walk back? Don't you have any love for your colleagues? Yi Jian tried to open the car door. Love for your colleagues? You're just a bunch of data. It'd be weird if I had any love for you. No, goodbye. Shisheng stepped on the accelerator and started the car. Yi Jian's face was covered in exhaust fumes. So angry. But Daddy can't beat her. She had already dealt with a psychopath, but there was still a psychopath waiting for her to pass. Mubai, this person, Shisheng didn't want to jump to conclusions. This world was poisonous. It was supposed to be an invincible face-slapping novel in the male channel, but it turned into a crime novel. And now it turned into a strategy novel. You'll get beaten up if you keep changing the channel. Shisheng decided to kidnap Mubai and try to use force to see if he could get any information out of him. If it didn't work, he'd just destroy him. After all, he's such a big danger. I'm scared. I always feel that someone is plotting against me. Before Shisheng had time to plan to kidnap Mubai, Mubai came to his door. When she went back, Mubai happened to be outside the door. Han Xiao was standing inside talking to him, with no intention of opening the door. Very good, well done. Shisheng drove the car straight over. When Mubai heard the sound, his body's self-awareness reacted faster than his brain. He dodged to the side and the car brushed past his clothes. Shisheng shook his head regretfully. This psychopath's reaction was quite fast. Should I do it again? Shisheng was ready to reverse the car. Mubai's voice sounded at the right time. Miss Lu, are you trying to kill me? Even after experiencing what had just happened, Mubai still had a calm look on his face, as if nothing had happened. But compared to the pale Miss Han inside the door, it was obvious that Shisheng was going to hit Mubai with the car just now. Yes, so stand still. Shisheng poked his head out and said in a light tone, Mubai. Stand still and let her hit him. Miss Lu, calm down. Murder is against the law. Han Xiao opened the metal door and ran out. She grabbed Shi Sheng's car window and said, "Don't tell me you want to go to prison to be a tyrant, prison flower? Thinking about killing people at the drop of a hat. Miss Lu, are you crazy? Who said that you have to go to prison for murder?" Shi Sheng rolled his eyes at Han Xiao. Han Xiao was confused. Where else could he go? Shi Sheng's eyes curved. Hell. Pfft, this joke wasn't funny at all. What was Yao Yaoling's phone number? Chapter 613. Mr. Mu, why are you looking for me? Shi Sheng didn't get out of the car. She looked past Han Xiao and at Mu Bai. I'm just here to give Miss Lu something. Mu Bai put a big box on the front of Shi Sheng's car. The box looked familiar. She had seen it at the auction before. What's inside? Don't tell me it's Angel's heart. Angel's heart. Mu Bai's voice was neither loud nor soft, just loud enough for Shi Sheng to hear clearly. Oh my God. The pervert gave I the Angel's heart. He was obviously up to no good. Shi Sheng took out her phone and dialed Zhang Ju's number. Zhang Ju, there's a pervert here who wants to bribe me. You're not free? He used the Angel's heart. Yes, it's the broken thing that caused you to be in such a mess. Mu Bai. Your reaction isn't right. Shi Sheng threw her phone away and got out of the car with her sword. When Zhang Ju arrived with his men, the first thing they saw was the car that had been turned into scrap metal. Then they saw Mu Bai, who was tied up and lying on the ground. Mu Bai. How could it be Mu Bai? Something big happened. Mu Bai. He was about to break down, but he was a gentleman. He had to be elegant and calm. Shi Sheng waved her cold iron sword and said with disdain, "You're so slow." There was a traffic jam. Zhang Ju answered seriously. How busy was the police station? Did you think everyone was like you, causing trouble for no reason? Shi Sheng pointed at the box on the ground. Zhang Ju gave the people behind him a look. The people in white coats immediately went forward to straighten the box and open it. Shi Sheng could tell at a glance that it was real. This thing should be in the police station, but it appeared in Mu Bai's hands. This Mu Bai was really something. Miss Lu, please tell us what happened. Zhang Ju started to follow the procedure. When I came back, he was standing at the door and said he wanted to give me something. I don't know him well, but he gave me something for no reason. It's obvious that there's something wrong. Zhang Ju's recording speed could not keep up with Shi Sheng's. In the end, he gave up and turned on his phone to record. In conclusion, Mu Bai had inexplicably wanted to give the Angel's heart to Shi Sheng, and Shi Sheng had called the police. Miss Lu, this is the heart of Angel. Do you really not want it? This question was completely Zhang Ju's personal question. Shi Sheng looked at Mu Bai, who had already been invited into the car, and said leisurely, I want to live longer. Zhang Ju, on the other hand, interpreted this sentence to mean something else. However, for a lunatic to be able to resist such a huge temptation, he was much stronger than some people. Unfortunately, she was still a lunatic. Since there were surveillance cameras at the entrance, what Shi Sheng said was true. Therefore, they only took Mu Bai away. As for what to do with him, it was still up for discussion. Wait, can I ask him something? Shi Sheng stopped Zhang Ju, who was about to leave. No. Zhang Ju refused without thinking. When she talked to Yifeng before, he was still very excited. Petty. Zhang Ju staggered and reached out to hold the car door. He took a deep breath, got in the car and closed the door. It was beneath his status to argue with a lunatic. Several police cars slowly left. Mu Bai's car didn't have the window closed. When it passed by Shi Sheng, Mu Bai happened to turn his head. His gaze accurately met with Shi Sheng's with a bit of provocation. Shi Sheng silently gave him the middle finger. Come on, let's hurt each other. I'm not scared of you, idiot. Miss Lu. Han Xiao stood behind the iron gate, and only popped her head out when the police cars were completely out of sight. What had happened recently was enough for her to remember for a lifetime. Go home for dinner. Shi Sheng waved his hand and stopped halfway. He put his hands on his hips and scolded. F***ck, I forgot to ask that pervert to pay for I's car. Han Xiao. Miss Lu, your point. Compared to the car, the one in front was even more unreliable. Han Xiao felt that she needed to be alone. She couldn't keep up with her CEO's thoughts at all. When the angel's heart was auctioned, the media was present. The theft naturally couldn't be covered up. Soon, it became the talk of the town. Fortunately, the angel's heart was not lost and the suspect was caught. This suspect was a bit thought-provoking. It was Yi Feng, who was related to Xiao Linglong's case. What was more coincidental was that he was the owner of the lucky bracelet. No one knew who exposed this news, but in an instant, it set off a storm of blood on the internet. The omnipotent masses of netizens even dug out Yi Feng's 18 generations of ancestors. Although Yi Feng used software to hide his information, he couldn't stop the power of the masses. From his high school classmates to his elementary school classmates, they all jumped out to expose. With clues, how easy was it to investigate a person? Lucky was auctioned at a sky-high price of 1.2 billion. Where did Yi Feng get so much money? Hashtag how a poor mountain village boy became rich overnight and became a rising star in the circle. Hashtag this topic became the hottest topic at the moment. In the plot, Yi Feng's family background was exposed a long time later. At that time, his status and identity were already stable and wouldn't be shaken by some suspicion. But now it was different. Yi Feng was involved in 2 murder cases in a row, and now he was involved in the angel's heart theft case. At this time, his family background was exposed and it was incomparably eye-catching. Although Yi Feng was acquitted in the end, there were many people who were paying attention to him at this time. Yi Feng awkwardly avoided the media and returned to his rented house. He rented this house in the beginning. Later, he changed his house, but in order to buy Lucky, that house was also sold. He could only temporarily live in this house that hadn't expired yet. He quickly took out his phone and clicked on the familiar software. He clicked on the task panel. The word failure made Yi Feng quickly gasp for breath. Then his gaze became firm. There was still one more chance. He still had one more chance to turn things around. Yi Feng calmed down and clicked on the task panel. However, at this time, the page was empty and there was no task posted. Ding-ling! The sudden ringtone scared Yi Feng's hand. He quickly put the phone back into his trouser pocket and took a deep breath. After confirming that there was nothing wrong with him, he got up and opened the door. A very well-behaved girl stood outside the door. "Brother Yi Feng, I saw that you came back just now, so I came to see you." Yi Feng forced a smile. "Thank you." "Brother Yi Feng, don't worry, I believe in you." The girl encouraged Yi Feng. "Those people outside are all guessing blindly, don't take it to heart." "Brother Yi Feng, you haven't eaten yet, right? I made dinner for you." The girl held the thermos in her hand in front of her and looked at Yi Feng with a smile. Yi Feng opened the door. "Sorry to trouble you, Xiaowan." The girl shyly bowed her head and walked into the room. "It's no trouble. To be able to cook for brother Yi Feng, Xiaowan is very happy." The door of the room slowly closed, blocking the two of them inside. A black shadow flashed from the direction of the stairwell and disappeared very quickly. The corridor returned to silence. Chapter 614. When Yi Feng was in a daze, he heard the notification from his phone and woke up abruptly. He let go of the person in his arms and got up to get his phone. There was a pop-up window on the screen. Mission: Intimate contact with Lu Xingge, Intimacy Level 5. Yi Feng almost threw his phone away. What kind of mission is this? Intimacy Level 5. He must sleep with Lu Xingge. He wanted to strangle Lu Xingge. How could he have the mood to sleep with her? And this woman was not Lu Xingge at all. No, the police said that her DNA matched Lu Xingji's previous file. She was Lu Xingge. She lied to him on purpose. Brother Yi Feng. Someone moaned from behind. Yi Feng put down his phone, turned around and lay back on the bed. The more he thought about it, the angrier he got. He rubbed the delicate body in his arms harder. In the end, he pinned her down and violently vented. No matter how unwilling Yi Feng was, he still had to do this mission. He couldn't refuse this kind of mission that was directly issued. If he didn't do it, it meant that he failed. If he failed, it meant that he would lose this software. He couldn't fail. The mission only said to have intimate contact with Lu Xingge. It didn't say how to do it. He still had a chance. Shisheng didn't know that Yifeng had such a mission, so when she saw Yifeng holding a bouquet of roses and appearing at the entrance of Bai Nian residence, she was dumbfounded. How dare you hold a bouquet of roses and appear here? Aren't you afraid that the Xiao family will kill you? My male lead is so awesome. Shisheng drove the new car past him, so Yifeng didn't know that the person he was waiting for had left. When Shisheng came back, she found that Yifeng was still at the door. Awesome, he waited for so long. If he wasn't standing at the entrance and her car couldn't drive past, she would definitely crash into him. Anyway, the male lead wouldn't die. He could even reattach a broken arm or a broken leg. Lu Xingge. Yi Jian's face suddenly appeared outside the car window. His roar was so loud that even Yifeng, who was on the other side, was startled. Open the door. Yi Jian slammed on Shisheng's car window. Last time, this woman left him in the wilderness. He had to talk to her. Yifeng had already run over with the bouquet of roses and pushed Yi Jian aside. Xingge, I have something to say to you. Shisheng. The male lead was looking for her? The sky was going to rain diamonds. Yi Jian. Who was this? Roar. The male lead. The male lead was fighting over the supporting female lead with him. Yi Jian waved towards the distance, and the man in the suit rushed out of the car. Young master. Get him out of my way. Yi Jian pointed at Yifeng. Without saying a word, the man in the suit stepped forward and dragged Yifeng back. Yifeng's physical fitness was average. Previously, when he had points, he would exchange them for body-strengthening drugs. But now he had no points, and the supply of drugs had been cut off. He basically could not resist the man in the suit. Who are you? Let me go. Yifeng glared at the man in the suit. The man in the suit threw him far away expressionlessly. He stood in front of him and looked down at Yifeng. Yifeng's figure wasn't particularly tall, but he wasn't short either. However, compared to the tall and burly man in the suit, Yifeng seemed particularly small. Yifeng knew that he couldn't beat this man, so he was about to go around him and go to the Shisheng. Xingge, listen to me. The man in the suit blocked Yifeng's way. The young master said that he was not allowed to go over. Yifeng immediately ran in another direction. He was agile and rushed to the car window in a few steps. Xingge, listen to me. I was wrong. I really know that I was wrong. I shouldn't have been half-hearted. I will only be good to you in the future. Believe me. I have always loved you from the bottom of my heart. Shisheng. Weren't these lines said by scumbags? Male lead, please mind your identity. High and mighty. Domineering. Xingge, I know you still like me. I will listen to whatever you say in the future. Xingge, can you forgive me? In order to complete the mission, even if Yifeng wanted to kill this woman, he still had to pretend to be affectionate and regretful. Once he completed this mission, he would definitely make this woman pay the price. Shisheng's eyes looked through the car window into Yifeng's eyes. It was a very calm gaze. There was no emotional fluctuation, as if it was a void. Yifeng was about to say some sweet words, but suddenly, it was as if he was stuck. He couldn't say anything. Pull him away. Did you not eat? Yi Jian chased after the man in the suit and patted his shoulder hard. The man in the suit. Young master, don't chase after me and hit me. How am I supposed to pull him away? The man in the suit shook off his young master, went behind Yifeng, and dragged him out of Shisheng's car again. Shisheng pushed the car out and walked to Yifeng in a few steps. The male lead was so awesome. He even dared to flirt with her. Xingge, you still like me, don't you? Yifeng pretended to be affectionate. Xingge, I used to be a jerk. I don't care how you hit me or scold me, as long as you don't leave me. Shisheng continued. You can't live without me, right? Yifeng was stunned, then nodded. I can't live without you, Xingge. Shisheng suddenly smiled and kicked Yifeng's crotch. Then go to hell. Yifeng's face suddenly turned pale. He bit his lower lip to stop himself from screaming. He twisted his face and looked at Shisheng. That bastard. The man in the suit who was holding Yifeng tightened his butthole and subconsciously clamped his legs together. Young master, I sympathize with you. Yi Jian was also shocked by Shisheng's violent action. He stood there and didn't move for a long time. Lu Xingge. Yi Feng gritted his teeth and squeezed out 3 words from between his teeth. The hatred in his eyes was almost overflowing. Shisheng exclaimed and reminded him. Why aren't you pretending to be an affectionate prince? Yi Feng was reminded and suddenly reacted. He slowly stepped back with a ferocious look on his face. Somewhere in his crotch, the pain made him gasp. Shengda, hit me. If you feel better, hit me. I won't be angry with you, as long as you forgive me. Shisheng pretended to kick him again. Do you think I'm retarded? You're obviously up to no good. You still want to hit on I. Do you think I'm as easy to hit on as Oreo? Yi Feng saw Shisheng's posture and suddenly began to step back. The man in the suit didn't use much strength. Yi Feng directly broke free from the man in the suit and stepped on the shock absorber belt. He staggered and fell to the ground. His head just happened to hit the roadblock next to him. That hit directly made Yi Feng's head bleed. Blood flowed down his forehead. It looked quite scary. Retard. Shisheng scolded and turned back to the car. Yi Feng's head was dizzy and his vision was blurry. He could only see Shisheng's car enter by Nian residence and disappear. Lu Xingge, wait for me. Yi Jian left the man in the suit and drove to chase after Shisheng. The man in the suit. Young master abandoned me again. Asterisk Sina Weibo name. Little fairy Shisheng. Chapter 6:15. A car that was probably transporting goods crashed into Shisheng's car in a panic to avoid the thief. Very good. The second car was destroyed. The pet market was crowded at this time. The collision blocked the entire road. The crowd was in chaos and the thief took the opportunity to run away. Yi Jian was stunned and didn't react for a while. Did Lu Xinggu have an automatic warning system? Shisheng looked around the crowd and locked his eyes on a certain figure. He stuffed the puppy into Yi Jian's arms and went straight to the figure. Zhang Ju swore that he really didn't want to see Shisheng, this crazy person. But this crazy person didn't even let him go when he was on vacation. He was just accompanying his wife to buy dog food. How did he encounter such an accident and let this crazy person see him? Zhang Ju, what a coincidence. Shisheng grabbed a girl and walked in front of Zhang Ju. Zhang Ju laughed awkwardly. Miss Lu Yu. What did this little girl do to you? Look at how scared she is. She's so inhumane. I suspect that she wants to kill me. Shisheng pushed the girl in front of Zhang Ju. Zhang Ju. What the hell? I want to call the police. There's a crazy person here. Come quickly. In the original owner's memory, she was very familiar with this girl in front of her. Dongwan. This is the real crazy person, okay? Yi Jian stood behind Shisheng and didn't say anything. He also knew Dongwan, but he didn't understand why the author arranged such a woman for the male lead. Dongwan looked at Zhang Ju with tears in her eyes. She felt wronged and innocent. Zhang Ju's wife was immediately conquered by Dongwan's appearance. She said to Shisheng, Girl, let's talk nicely. Why would this little girl want to kill you? You can't just say that. Zhang Ju secretly pulled his wife and signaled her to stop talking nonsense with his eyes. Do you think this woman is the same as those little girls outside? Why are you staring at me? I didn't say anything wrong. Don't you police officers care about evidence? She immediately said that this little girl wanted to kill her. Is she suffering from paranoia? I see that this little girl doesn't even have the strength to truss a chicken. How can I murder her? Madame Zhang didn't understand Zhang Ju's painstaking efforts and instead said loudly. Dongwan immediately nodded, tears falling down her cheeks. This big sister suddenly grabbed me. I don't even know what happened. Shisheng rolled his eyes and reached out to touch Dongwan's hand. What are you doing? Dongwan screamed and pushed Shisheng's hand away. Shisheng held Dongwan down and searched her body. Help! Don't touch me! You're molesting me! Dongwan pushed the Shisheng away angrily, but the Shisheng was too strong for Dongwan to resist. Hey, you little girl! Mrs. Zhang wanted to pull Shisheng away. Shisheng glared at her coldly, and Mrs. Zhang froze on the spot. Zhang Ju quickly pulled her back. Shisheng quickly found a syringe in Dongwan's sweater pocket. There was still some liquid in the syringe. Dongwan's face turned pale for a moment, but she quickly regained her pitiful look. I don't know what this is. Shisheng ignored Dongwan and waved the syringe in front of Zhang Ju. Zhangju. Zhangju's face darkened. Nothing good happened every time he met her. He wanted a vacation. The few of them were brought back to the police station. The test results came out quickly. The syringe contained a very strong drug. If someone was injected with this syringe, they would die immediately. Dongwon was brave enough to kill someone, so her mental fortitude wasn't something an ordinary person could compare with. She felt wrong the whole time, and expressed that she didn't know where the syringe came from. Most importantly, Dongwon's fingerprints were not on the syringe. The police also checked Dongwon's social life. She was just like any other student. There was nothing special about her. Zhang Ju told Shisheng the results of the investigation. Shisheng crossed his legs and stared at the pale Mrs. Zhang. Shisheng looked away and said faintly, "You can go to her house and have a look. You might find something unexpected." Yi Jian, who was holding the dog, added, "Searching the house of a suspect who was carrying drugs wasn't a big deal." Zhang Ju ordered a team to search the house. The results of the search were shocking. They found a large number of medical tools in Dongwon's house. Some of them were stained with blood. They even found human tissue in her refrigerator. "Are you Conan?" Zhang Ju gritted his teeth and stared at Shisheng. "Wherever you go, you die. Please call me the salt substitute of the Grim Reaper." Shisheng smiled. Chinibyu was also an illness. It had to be cured. His vacation. Zhang Ju was going crazy. He quickly ordered a task force to be set up. Shisheng was kicked out of the police station. It was better for a psychopath like him to leave the station. "Lu Xingge, you got rid of Dongwon just like that?" Yi Jian was still confused. "It was too fast. Look at other people's counterattacks. They had to go through a lot of difficulties and dangers. You have to pay for what you did." Shisheng flipped his bangs handsomely. The next second his tone changed. "How can a person like me be compared to a retard? I's goal was the Sea of Stars. Sleeping with Fengxi. Dongwon was just one of the female leads. Her halo was not as strong as the female lead. It was easy to get rid of her." Wait, she seemed to have forgotten something. Shisheng looked at the parking lot. "I's car. Who's going to pay for it?" Shisheng still had things in his car. She had to get them herself. When she arrived at the crime scene, she found that her car had been towed away. When she reached the place where she left her car, she found that her car had been flipped over. The staff told her that the machine had gone out of the door and fell off when it was moving. Shisheng was speechless. To hell with luck. Shisheng could only turn back to the shopping mall. When Shisheng got home, the sky was already dark. Han Xiao was holding the phone. When she saw Shisheng coming in, she immediately greeted him. "President Liu, why didn't you answer my call?" Shisheng put down the things in his hand and waved his hand. "I eloped with my car." Eloped? Car and cell phone? What was President Liu talking about? Ow. Han Xiao looked at the bag that Shisheng had brought back. A white furry thing was arching out of the bag. "President Liu. Dog. Dog? You've never seen a dog before?" Shisheng took the puppy out and stuffed it into her arms. Han Xiao hugged the furry thing. It was still warm. It was really a dog. It was alive. "President Liu, should we keep it?" Shisheng looked at her. Han Xiao's eyes were full of anticipation. "Keep it then." "I'm not keeping it. You keep it yourself. If it dares to cause trouble, I'll strangle it to death." Han Xiao hugged the puppy tightly and stepped back. Shisheng wanted to scold her for being an idiot, but he controlled himself. He piled the boxes in front of Han Xiao and said calmly, "Happy birthday." Han Xiao. Was it her birthday today? Thinking about it carefully, it seemed to be true. Later, Han Xiao went back to open the presents. When she saw the presents inside, her face turned red. When she was washing her clothes this morning, she found that her bra was broken and threw it away. She remembered that President Liu happened to walk past her. She didn't expect President Liu to buy her a new bra that night. "I want to marry President Liu. I want to give President Liu a baby. Please vote for me. Please vote for me T. Please vote for me if you love me. I like all the votes." Chapter 616. Dongwon's case was soon solved because of the conclusive evidence. Later, the police found out that she was related to Xiao Linglong's death. Dongwon claimed that she was mentally ill. After the hospital examination, it was confirmed that Dongwon had intermittent mental illness. But according to the investigation of the scene, Dongwon had to bear criminal responsibility for her rational disposal of the body and purposeful preparation of the murder. Dongwon was sentenced to life imprisonment because of the nature of the crime. She would probably only be able to see that small enclosed world for the rest of her life. Shisheng had some doubts about Dongwon's case. Xiao Linglong's death was not something that Dongwon could do, but Dongwon could tell all the details. This had nothing to do with her anyway. Shisheng was only curious for a moment before she stopped asking about it. Since it had nothing to do with her, she decided to let it go. Yifeng didn't expect that he had slept with a psychopathic murderer. He was already mentally weak and hadn't slept for a few days. When he finally fell asleep, he suddenly heard a soft sound and opened his eyes. He met a pair of eyes full of murderous intent. "It's you!" Yifeng screamed. His hoarse voice was particularly harsh in the dark. The woman immediately pressed on his chest and pointed a sharp knife at his neck. "Long time no see, Yifeng." The woman's softness pressed on him, but Yifeng couldn't feel any warmth. "You're here to kill me?" This woman used him, and now she was here to kill him. The woman approached Yifeng and breathed in his ear. "I took someone's money to solve their problem. Someone wants to know your secret." Yifeng's brain exploded. Someone wanted to know his secret? What was his secret? It was the software that appeared on his phone out of nowhere. "Since we had a good time in bed, tell me what your secret is and I won't kill you." The woman sat beside Yifeng and stroked his body with her fingers. Yifeng's body was quite good. It felt good to the touch, and he was very strong in that aspect. Which woman didn't like men who were strong in bed? "I don't know what you're talking about." He couldn't let anyone know his secret. That was his only chance to turn the tables. Yifeng's eyes glanced at his phone. The woman sneered and knocked Yifeng out. She took his phone and unlocked it with his fingerprint. There weren't many apps on it. Not only was the name Tycoon's Self-Cultivation strange, even the icon was so strange. The woman opened the software and frowned at first. Then she quickly swiped a few times. After seeing a few projects in the completed missions, a strange look flashed in her eyes. When she came, she had already received a hint that this should be what she was looking for. How could Yifeng earn so much money with just this software? But when she thought about it, she felt that this was the only way Yifeng could earn so much money in such a short time. The woman glanced at the man on the bed. In the end, she didn't do anything. Without this, he probably wouldn't be able to cause any trouble. Just as the woman was about to leave, a red light flashed before her eyes. She saw the red bracelet that was placed on top of the locker. After hesitating for a few seconds, the woman picked up the bracelet and erased all traces of her presence. Then, she left as quietly as she came. The woman handed the phone to the buyer. The buyer looked at the things on the software. At first, he didn't understand, but when he saw the completed tasks, he understood. "Ha ha ha, well done, Ing." The buyer laughed and praised the woman. Her code name was Ing. Ing rubbed Lucky on her wrist. "When do I pay?" "Pay now, pay now." The buyer asked someone to bring the check. Ding! A message popped up on the phone screen. "Mission failed. Punishment implemented. Unbinding." About 3 seconds later, the screen went black. When he turned on the phone again, the software was gone. The buyer searched for a long time, but couldn't find the software. He also couldn't find it when he turned on the phone. "Why is it gone?" The buyer stood up agitatedly and questioned Ing loudly. Ing took the phone and looked. The software was indeed gone. "This has nothing to do with me. My mission has been completed. Pay me." Ing put down the phone and looked at the buyer. The buyer was angry at the moment. How could he pay? The two of them immediately started to argue. In the end, the buyer somehow saw the bracelet on Ying's wrist, and suddenly went into a frenzy. "Kill her. F***ck. Ing cursed and quickly looked for cover. However, this place was very spacious. There were people all around and at the door. As soon as she moved, there were bullets coming from several directions. Ear-piercing gunshots kept ringing in this space. After a while, the gunshot stopped. Ying's body fell to the ground. Blood slowly flowed out from her body and dyed the bracelet on her wrist. The blood-like color seemed to be getting brighter. Yi Feng lost the cheat and couldn't recover. It was a long time later when he found out that he couldn't do it. And since then, no matter what he did, he couldn't succeed. No matter what work he did, it wouldn't take more than 3 days. Later, there was a report. The promising upstart in the past is now a homeless man on the street. A snake can never become a dragon. When Shisheng heard about Yi Feng again, it was a call from Zhangju. Yi Feng drowned. He got a cheat that allowed him to soar to the sky when he drowned. After losing the cheat, he drowned. It started with water. Finally, water. Do you think the author has bad intentions towards the male lead? Yi Jian asked Shisheng with a strange expression. Look at the women the author matched with the male lead. Which one of them was normal? Alright, the normal one died tragically. Full of bad intentions. Shisheng glanced at Yi Jian. Is your mission still there? Speaking of this, Yi Jian was depressed. Of course. Do you think I like to come here all day? I'm a rich man now. I only need to spend money every day. Who doesn't like this kind of life? Then you'll never be able to complete it in this lifetime. Shisheng smiled. Why? Shisheng smiled. Because I have someone I like. She went to find other villains, but none of them were Feng Xi. Feng Xi wasn't in this world. You have someone you like. Who? Mu Bai. That man seemed to be very quiet recently. Even if she saw him occasionally, he didn't do anything. Very strange. Before Shisheng could answer, Yi Jian shook his head. No, you can't like Mu Bai. Then who do you like? It's quite unlucky to be liked by you. Swish, damn. Yi Jian quickly jumped away. Lu Xingge, no one will want you like this. Who can stand such violence? Don't worry. Someone will definitely want me. Shisheng's iron sword continued to slash. Yi Jian quickly slipped out of the door, and was greeted with a bare tree trunk. His mouth twitched and he quickly got into the car and left. If someone really wanted this woman, he would prostrate himself in admiration. Thank goodness someone took in this lunatic. Feng Xi. I heard someone wants to prostrate themselves before me? Yi Jian, really? Shisheng. Would I spout nonsense? Yi Jian, no, you only know how to talk nonsense. Shisheng. Where is I's sword? Feng Xi. Obediently handing over the sword. Yi Jian. Hey, yeah. Zhangju. Please call the Dog Lover Association. Why are you calling us? We're very busy. Chapter 617. At a charity gala. This was a charity gala led by the government to donate money to the children in the earthquake-stricken mountainous area. Zhangju, who had been promoted to chief of the city bureau, naturally had to attend. When he entered the venue, he heard someone shouting behind him. Lu Xingge, wait. There's no ghost chasing you. Why are you walking so fast? You're a woman. Can't you walk more like a woman? He turned around and saw Shisheng strutting towards him. Indeed, he did not look like a woman. Zhangju, are you here for the charity gala? Shisheng stopped in front of Zhangju. Did you bring money this time? Oh. As expected, he did not want to see her at all. Has Miss Lu made a comeback? Of course she has more money than you. Shisheng laughed arrogantly. Zhangju. He was an honest and upright police officer, so what if he had no money? So what? Zhangju walked in angrily. Shisheng shrugged and followed him. Isn't this Lu Xingge? I haven't seen her for a long time. Wasn't there a rumor that she was kept as a mistress? Why is there no news after that? You just came back from the mountains? Those murder cases were so serious. Who had time to care about who she was kept as a mistress? This Lu Xingge is quite unlucky. She lost her company and got involved in a murder case. Isn't the truth out now? Is Lu Xingge a mistress or not? Who knows? Anyway, no one has seen her walking with any man. Yi Jian walked in front of the few people who were chatting happily. Am I not a person? Aren't you Lu Xingji's follower? Someone looked at Yi Jian for a long time, and squeezed out a sentence. Follower. Follower? He was a follower. Was there a follower as handsome and rich as him? You bunch of blind people. So angry. Lu Xingge, Come out and help Daddy kill people. A chuckle came from behind Yi Jian. Chairman Mu. Hello, Chairman Mu. Mu Bai nodded slightly as a greeting to the others. These people looked at each other and quickly dispersed, leaving Mu Bai and Yi Jian alone. Yi Jian turned and stared at him. So what if someone knows you? She's hard to deal with, right? Mu Bai said softly. Yi Jian frowned. Why did this man sound like he was gloating? Good luck. Mu Bai probably wanted to reach out and pat him on the shoulder, but he retracted his hand halfway and brought him inside. Yi Jian. Was there something wrong with him? The traditional model of the charity gala was a charity auction. This was to give these people a reason to donate. Everyone wanted a good reputation, so naturally, they wouldn't be stingy with their money. Coincidentally, Shisheng was sitting with Chief Zhang again. Yi Jian was sitting beside her. He was holding up Shisheng's sign one moment, then holding up his own sign the next. He was very busy. Lu Xingge still has money? The bankrupt CEO actually dared to come to the auction? I've never seen a bankrupt CEO so unaware. Damn it, he must have taken the wrong script. She seems to be living a good life. Maybe she's really being kept by someone. TSK, it's good to be pretty. Even if she's bankrupt, there are still men who want her. Heh, you still have to find a good man. What if he's a married man? Wouldn't she just be a mistress and break up a bad family? She's too pretty, but she's still a vixen. Chief Zhang heard the whispers behind him from time to time. Although he didn't really like Shisheng, this crazy person, these people behind him were too mean. You're not angry? Chief Zhang asked. Shisheng was stunned for a moment. When he heard the people behind him saying that she was shameless, he suddenly understood. It's not worth it to argue with a retard. People like me will always be jealous. You'll get used to it. Chief Zhang. How could he still be so proud of himself? You win. Don't you feel nervous being talked about like this all the time? It was indeed better to be a fair and honest police officer. The charity auction went smoothly. However, there was a problem at the end of the gala. Someone had died. He had died in a completely enclosed resting room. Chief Zhang looked at Shisheng frantically. I'm possessed by the Grim Reaper. I can't help it. Shisheng shrugged innocently. I don't want to see you for the rest of my life. Chief Zhang threw this sentence and walked upstairs to the lounge. When he went upstairs, a figure followed the crowd downstairs and left. A red light flashed on his wrist, and he brushed past Chief Zhang. Shisheng knew that Mu Bai had been keeping an eye on her. Shisheng tried a few times and found that Mu Bai was much smarter than the other retards. He always had a way to protect himself. Until she left this world, Mu Bai did not do anything to her on the surface. However, Shisheng felt that this man must have something to do with the accidents she encountered later on. Unfortunately, she didn't have any evidence and couldn't catch him. Later on, Mu Bai went abroad and didn't even show his face. As for that retard Yi Jian, the mission had a time limit. Once the time was up, he would naturally die. Before he left, he even told Shisheng that they would meet again when they were free. Why would they meet again when they were free? They didn't belong to the same world. Shisheng returned to the system space. It was as quiet as usual. She walked slowly to the screen and placed her palm on the edge of the screen. Why isn't Feng Ci in this world? System. Where did you hide Feng Ci from? Host, you cut off all the channels. I can't contact him either. Shisheng didn't know if it was an illusion or not, but she felt that the system was gloating. My host is amazing. You can actually hear the schadenfreude in my electronic voice. What's wrong with Mu Bai? She changed the question. The system was silent for a long time. The data on the screen was jumping rapidly. Undetectable. Oh. Shisheng tilted her head and looked at the screen with obscure eyes. The system was panicking. How could it be undetectable? Master, come back quickly. I think I'm sick. The system checked a few times, but the results were undetectable. Shisheng took out the tablet and checked the system's database. It looked normal, but she couldn't see some of the data because of her limited access. Shisheng put away the tablet and let the system refresh the data. Name: Shisheng. Moral points: 272000 health points, 30 contribution points, 31,000 mission level. Emission score: 79 side mission, failed side mission reward, none item list, Queen's Crown, Ghost King's Heart, Dark Knight Shisheng. Why did the system deduct so many points from I? Because you didn't complete the side mission. Although the angel's heart was sent to the museum, Lucky was still wandering outside. Many people died because of this. How could this be counted as I's fault? Was I a trash can? System data. That's how it was calculated. Why was it so fierce? It was also calculated according to the system's data. Master, the host is torturing the system. I miss you. Come back quickly. Asterisk the 19th world was completed. It was going to be the 20th world soon. 23333. That was fast. Mini theater system. Master, when are you coming back? System master. I'm busy. System master. Are you not coming back? System master. Stop talking nonsense. I'll be back. Shisheng. Are you coming back to be tortured? System master. I need one more person. I'm leaving. System master, come back. Chapter 618. Everyone wanted to farm Hua Mengmeng's equipment. Asterisk Shisheng opened her eyes and found a few people standing in front of her. All kinds of cool lights were shining on her. It's almost time to freeze. Everyone, use your ultimate skills. A few people shouted a few words at the same time. Then Shisheng saw the skill bar above their heads. Game? Damn. It's so realistic. Is it holographic? Shisheng. Now is not the time to talk about this. These people wanted to kill her. Shisheng instinctively took out her sword, but what she took out was a strange scepter. The scepter was silver. 2 dragons coiled from the bottom. The dragon's head was at the top, with its mouth wide open. A transparent pearl was embedded in the middle. As soon as the scepter was taken out, Shisheng felt the people opposite her were excited. Their skill bar was almost finished. A large amount of light was shining on her. Shisheng subconsciously raised her scepter. When the light hit the scepter, it scattered in all directions and hit the people in front of her, causing them to be wiped out in a matter of minutes. After the light dispersed, Shisheng was left with corpses lying on the ground. World, you'll suffer. Another wipeout. World ancestor, stop fooling around. Even the people from Quick Shadow can't beat them. It's normal for them to be wiped out. World, a man's true colors. Dream of Shitang's people. Didn't you say that you can definitely pass this time? You've been slapped in the face. Ha 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 ha. World, a ray of sunshine. Stop being sarcastic. Come at us if you can. Shisheng looked at the rows of messages floating above her head. Her mouth twitched. If she was not mistaken, you'll suffer was the man lying in front of her. So what the hell was she? An NPC? Asterisk flips table asterisk. What kind of resentment did an NPC have? Shisheng fumbled around and pulled out the attribute window. Nickname, Hua Mengmeng NPC, level, 80 identity, Master of Shinju Palace Strength, 56524 Chivalry, 0 Reputation, 1563 Equipment, Moon Shadow Scepter drop, Underworld Water drop, Billowy Cloud Dress. The equipment column almost blinded Shisheng's eyes. They were all level 70 to 80 equipment, but there were not many drops. Only the Moon Shadow Scepter, Underworld Water, and a few costumes were dropped. Shisheng had already dug out some information from the chat. She was the biggest boss that had just been updated. Currently, the players were only at level 80. Defeating her would drop the Moon Shadow Scepter. This item was a divine artifact and there was only one in each server. It could be upgraded and become a growth-type weapon. Shisheng sized up the scepter. It was so ugly. Where is I's sword? Shisheng looked at the person lying on the ground. Since it was a game, a sinister smile appeared on her face. And the people who were quarreling on the ground suddenly became alert. Nearby, you'll suffer. Boss, do you feel that it's suddenly become cold? Players couldn't speak after they died. They could only type in the public chat. Nearby, a ray of sunshine. Little show, you've developed feelings from playing games? Nearby, majestic presence. Boss's sense of reality is 0. You can't experience what we feel. Ha 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 ha. Nearby, a ray of sunshine. I'm still your boss if you don't talk about this. Nearby, you'll suffer. Ha ha ha, boss is too stupid. Nearby, a ray of sunshine. I'll delete my account and start over. Nearby, Jiang Hu's novice wolf. Give me the position of the leader. Nearby, a ray of sunshine. You guys are eyeing my position. I won't delete my account. Just when they were distracted, Shisheng had already walked to their corpses and looted from the item column. As expected of a big boss, there were a lot of items dropped. Nearby, you'll suffer. Damn, Hua Mengmeng is here. What does she want? Nearby, Jiang Hu's novice wolf. Nothing good. This holographic game was famous for its perverted nature. Not only could players prank NPCs, but NPCs could also prank players. NPCs were no different from players except for the fact that they could issue missions and drop some items. They could even accept missions. Players had a love-hate relationship with NPCs. Shisheng found it strange that they didn't return to the resurrection point after being wiped out. They also didn't use any items. Why were they just lying there and chatting? She definitely wouldn't ask such a stupid question. It would make her seem stupid. So she decided to take revenge. There were a few types of items to prank players. Of course, to ensure the player's physical and mental health, they wouldn't be too bloody and violent. Shisheng chose the more despicable one, which was to strip them. Announcement: Hua Mengmeng used an item, naked on player, majestic presence. Announcement: Hua Mengmeng used an item, naked on player, you'll suffer. Announcement. These announcements were made from the top. All players in the server could see it. World Ancestor, stop fooling around. Hua Mengmeng? World, your daddy is online. Isn't Hua Mengmeng the master of Shinju Palace recently? She actually used an item, naked on Dream of Shitang's players. World, a man's true colors. What did Dream of Shitang's players do to Hua Mengmeng? They actually made her use an item, ha ha ha. At this moment, several players from Dream of Shitang. Nearby, majestic presence. Is Hua Mengmeng beastly? Is she going to force herself on us? Nearby, a ray of sunshine. The game company hasn't developed this function yet, right? Hua Mengmeng, what the F***ck, leave me a pair of underwear. Shisheng only left when he saw a circle of men lying on the ground with only their underwear left. Nearby, you'll suffer. Hua Mengmeng left. Nearby, majestic presence. Boss, use your beauty to charm her. Nearby, a ray of sunshine. I'm lying on the ground. Shisheng left that place. He could no longer see the conversations on the nearby forums. This map was quite big. Shisheng walked for a long time before he saw a palace. There were guards with swords guarding outside the palace. Seeing him return, they immediately bowed and saluted. The palace door opened silently. Shisheng walked in calmly. After entering the palace door closed. The palace was empty. Nothing was happening. Shisheng found a safer place and began to receive the plot. This was a holographic MMORPG. This game was called Troubled World. It was also the world's first holographic MMORPG. The female lead was called Lujin. She was a newbie gamer. When she entered the game, she knew nothing at all. However, her account was a lucky account. She had a lucky bonus. Whether it was the drop rate of killing monsters or the success rate of making things, it would increase by 50%. After entering the game, the female lead met the Almighty, a lifetime of peace by chance. When the Almighty was confessed to, he used her as a shield. Therefore the female lead, who was still a noob, instantly became the public enemy of the women in this district. She did not have much level to begin with. She was directly killed back to level 0. It was worth mentioning that this crazy game did not have a newbie protection period. Therefore, the female lead had a deep grudge against the guru. However, the guru wanted to help the female lead level up. He even said that whoever dared to touch the female lead would be going against him. This guru, who looked like a CEO, was naturally the male lead, Liang Bing. Asterisk today's Q&A: which world is Ying Yu from? Chapter 619. To put it bluntly, this was the story of a newbie gamer hugging a game guru and finally dominating the game with her golden finger. So what did this have to do with her as an NPC? It had a lot to do with her. The male lead Liang Bing and the female lead Lujin were siblings in name. Liang Bing's father married Lujin's mother, so they were in the same household. Lu Jin became a vegetable because of an accident. Liang Bing only realized that he liked Lu Jin after Lu Jin became a vegetable, so he tried to wake Lu Jin up. That was why the game Troubled World was developed. Liang Bing wanted Lu Jin to come back to life in the game. Maybe she would wake up because of this. Reality proved that Liang Bing did it. Lu Jin really appeared in the game as a player. And to develop such a project, there must be sacrifices. Hua Mengmeng was such a sacrifice. She was also a vegetable. She was the first living test subject to be experimented on. There must be many problems in the first experiment. Hua Mengmeng did not appear as a player, but as an NPC. The R&D team did not find anyone in the newbie village. They thought that she did not succeed and gave up on her. But for some reason, her consciousness was always in the NPC body of Hua Mengmeng. But at that time, the game was not online yet. Hua Mengmeng could not see anyone, and did not know where she was. She did not know how long she stayed in the palace. It was dark outside. Other than anxiety, she was only scared. When the game was online, the map was discovered and there were different scenery outside. Hua Mengmeng went out curiously, but she was beaten up before she could see what was outside. NPCs had no perception, but Hua Mengmeng was beaten up for no reason. She fought back reflexively. This NPC's setting was very high. Even if Hua Mengmeng did not know how to play games, she could kill all the players without much effort. Later, Hua Mengmeng knew that she was in a game. She knew that she was still in the original world. She wanted to find someone to help pass a message to her parents to save her. The players thought that it was a game setting and asked in the World Channel. Coincidentally, the male lead saw it. The male lead went to see Hua Mengmeng. After confirming that she was really the first test subject, he promised to take her out of the game, but she could not tell anyone about it. Hua Mengmeng wanted to go out at that time. The male lead was handsome. The girl who just fell in love agreed immediately. She followed the male lead's instructions and played the role of Hua Mengmeng as an NPC. However, what awaited her was the collapse of the entire map. It would be strange if Hua Mengmeng was not angry after being treated as a test subject for no reason, and then destroyed for no reason. Hua Mengmeng had two wishes. The first was to restore his human body. Secondly, she had to find out why Liang Bing had agreed to take her out, and why he had gone back on his word and destroyed her. In this plot, the female lead did not do anything. The male lead did all these behind the female lead's back. So if it weren't for Hua Mengmeng's memories, who would know that the male lead did such a wicked thing? This Liang Bing was really something. In order to save the female lead, he actually carried out such crazy human experiments. No matter which dimension, human experimentation was condemned. The male lead chose to destroy Hua Mengmeng in the end, either because he was afraid that Hua Mengmeng would leak something out, or something happened to the female lead. But at the end of the plot, the female lead and the male lead got married and had a child in real life, so the reason for this was still to be investigated. She came here not long after the map was discovered. The players in the game formed a group to kill her and get equipment to level up. Shisheng looted the scepter from before. This thing was a weapon dropped from the first clear. Before it was dropped, it belonged to her. Game boss, very well. Then let's torture the players and break up the couple. World, a lifetime of peace. Lu Jin is mine. Whoever dares to touch her, I'll kill them every time I see them. Shisheng had just tidied up his things when a message floated above his head. To her, it was already half of the plot, but to the female lead, it was just the beginning. A pitiful cannon fodder who could not survive more than 3 episodes. World, the Great July. Let's take a picture together, Guru. World, July's skirt. Guru, you're playing a shitty game again. World, July's underwear. Swipe July. World, July's socks. Drop new chapters. World, July's jacket. Drop new chapters. World, your daddy is online. Who is Lu Jin? How could she let Guru come to the world? World, a man's true colors. Lu Jin? I saw her yesterday. She's just a smurf. How did Guru get involved with a smurf? Seeking gossip. As more and more people came to the world, a lifetime of peace's message was quickly blocked. Shisheng opened the World Channel, tried to type a sentence on it, and pressed send. A bullet box suddenly popped up in front of his eyes. If you don't have enough gold coins, please recharge. Shisheng. An NPC actually needed gold coins to speak. She even earned money from her own people. That was enough. Report. The palace door opened silently, and an NPC with a Shinju palace attendant above his head ran in. Shisheng. What the hell was a Shinju palace attendant? Palace master, there are players outside. Shisheng frowned. He remembered that this dungeon could only be opened 3 times before the game was cleared. It had already been opened 3 times today, right? So how did the players come in? How many people? 10 people. 5 people in a team, and 10 people in a group. This was a bug. To kill her, they could only form a team, okay? Why could they form a team? F***CK. Let's go out and have a look. Shisheng waved his sleeves domineeringly, but his sleeves were too big, and they were the type that floated in the wind. With a wave of his sleeves, Shisheng's face was smeared. Flips table. What happened to showing off to I? Shisheng brushed away the layers of gauze that were still fluttering in the air, took off his jacket directly, and chose an outfit suitable for fighting from his equipment. Shisheng walked out of the palace, and there was a group of people with the nickname, Shinju Palace Attendant, at the door. On the other side of the palace, on the square, a few players were killing monsters. Shisheng was familiar with a few of them. They were the players who were still chatting after they died. A Ray of Sunshine was the guild leader of Dream of Shitang. You Submissive, Little White Wolf, and Majestic Presence were all members of Dream of Shitang. The others were from another guild. These people were killing monsters very quickly, and they rushed straight to Shisheng after they cleared the monsters, and used their skills without hesitation. Shisheng took out his scepter. Hua Mingming took the scepter, F***CK. Didn't they say that she would take the scepter last? Once the scepter was taken out, there was an uproar. Pay attention to the health. We'll rush over. A Ray of Sunshine quickly ordered. The few people from Dream of Shitang immediately followed A Ray of Sunshine, and under the cover of the others, they arrived at the bottom of Shisheng's stairs. However, just as they stood firmly, they did not even have the time to use their skills, and they all died at the same time. ## begging for sunflower seed flavored votes today ## begging for monthly votes. Begging for monthly votes. There are monthly votes at the beginning of the month. Hurry up and vote. #12/01/2016 Book Review Babe. Mingyi. 12/02/2016 Book Review Babe. Winter's Twilight. Please follow the guidelines of the top post in the book review section to receive your red packet. Chapter 620. The group of people could only watch as their people lay on the ground. Long live the Palace Master, unify the underworld. Long live the Palace Master, unify the underworld. Palace Master. The people of Shinju Palace raised their arms and shouted the slogan in unison. Flips table. Who the hell came up with this line? I wasn't invincible East. Shisheng walked in front of A Ray of Sunshine. The appearance in the holographic game was based on the player's appearance. A Ray of Sunshine was quite handsome. Looking at his equipment, he was probably a R&B player. He was a good target to rob. She was so poor that she couldn't even speak on the World Channel. Hey. Shisheng squatted down. Why are you all lying on the ground? A Ray of Sunshine was talking to his team when he heard a pleasant voice. He looked at Shisheng strangely. Was he hallucinating or did the boss really speak? Normally, NPCs would only talk to you if you took the initiative to talk to them. What was the meaning of this boss that suddenly came over to greet them? You guys are too weak. Shisheng looked at them with disdain. Nearby A Ray of Sunshine. Nearby Majestic Presence. Nearby You'll Suffer. Nearby Little Novice Wolf. Did she come over to mock them? This boss was indeed different from the other bosses. Shisheng suddenly reached out to touch A Ray of Sunshine. A Ray of Sunshine's body shook. Nearby A Ray of Sunshine. Boss. Let's talk nicely. What's the use of touching me? I'm a player with integrity. Then I'll use my scepter. Shisheng squinted his eyes. Nearby A Ray of Sunshine. You'd better touch me. Nearby Majestic Presence. Boss, where's your integrity? Nearby You'll Suffer. Boss ate it. Ha ha ha. Nearby a ray of sunshine. A real man should know when to yield. Sheng was just trying his luck. He didn't expect this game to be so perverted. In normal games, players could touch the corpses. However, this game's setting was different from normal games. NPCs could touch the corpses too. Obviously, a ray of sunshine was stunned as well. Nearby, a ray of sunshine. Damn, Hua Mingming stole 100 gold from me. The game company is too good at making money. Area majestic presence. She can touch it? Nearby Jianghu's little white wolf. Nearby, you'll suffer. Restoring the real Jianghu. I finally understand what this line means. In this game, the difference between NPCs and players was that they could issue quests and drop items. The rest of the time, they were the same as the players. In the future, they would not only have to guard against players, but also NPCs? Sheng looted everyone. Probably because she was an NPC, there was a limit to what she could loot. Other than Ray of Sunshine's 100 gold coins, the rest of the items were worthless. Tie them up. Sheng ordered the palace attendants beside him. The palace attendants immediately went forward and tied up the 10 corpses. Very good, this game is interesting. Nearby, you'll suffer. Hua Mingming, what are you trying to do? Sheng felt that it was weird for him to talk to himself, so he opened the interface and started typing. Nearby Hua Mingming robbery. Nearby a ray of sunshine. Nearby majestic presence. Nearby Jianghu's novice wolf. Nearby, a series of ellipses. NPCs have the function of robbing? How was the game supposed to be played by the players? Nearby Hua Mingming. Give me 1,000 gold coins per person, and I won't blame you for trespassing on my territory. What do you think? Nearby a ray of sunshine. Why don't you rob us instead? 1,000 gold coins would be 1,000 renminbi. Nearby, Hua Mingming. Aren't we robbing right now? Nearby majestic presence. The boss is retarded again. Nearby, Hua Mingming. Is he always this stupid? This array of sunshine had been acting stupid since the beginning. How did he get to the position of the leader? Nearby you'll suffer. Yeah, he's always this stupid. Nearby a ray of sunshine. That's enough. You guys are chatting with her. She's robbing us now. Nearby Hua Mingming. Looks like it's not the leader who's stupid, but the whole guild. Nearby Jianghu's novice wolf. The leader is rich. Nearby majestic presence. The leader is rich +1. Nearby, you'll suffer. The leader is rich +2. Nearby Hua Mingming. Is he rich? Is that why you guys let him be the leader? Sheng felt like he had seen through something. Nearby a ray of sunshine. I got it based on my ability, okay? He's so handsome and stylish. There are tons of girls outside who want to bear his children. How could he get the position of the leader because of money? Nearby, Hua Mingming. The ability to get defeated instantly? Nearby a ray of sunshine. He felt so tired. How could an NPC look down on him so arrogantly? He wasn't the only one who got defeated instantly. How could she laugh at him alone? Nearby, you'll suffer. This NPC is more fun than other NPCs. Her words are so sharp. Aha. Nearby, Hua Mingming. I'm the boss after all. I'm a different kind of firework. Of course, I'm different from those flirtatious B*cheese outside. Nearby majestic presence. The forum said that there would be a lot of changes after the update. Looks like they've increased the intelligence of the intelligent NPCs. Although the NPCs in the previous game were intelligent, they still couldn't keep up with the humans' thinking. After all, the humans' imagination was infinite. Moreover, this was the first holographic intelligent MMORPG. There were a lot of bugs. Some bored players went to chat with the NPCs. Now, all kinds of NPCs' quotes dominated the screen. Nearby, Hua Mingming. How could those idiots make such an intelligent NPC like me? Sheng looked down on her with honey. Even though they were separated by the screen, they could feel the deep disdain. My NPC is so powerful. You even dare to look down on your creator. Aren't you afraid of being destroyed by humanity? This NPC wants to go to heaven. Nearby Hua Mingming, cut the crap. Give me the money. Otherwise, I'll send a message to Dream of Shitang in the World Channel to get you back. Yes, she was robbing now. She had to be serious. Nearby majestic presence. I don't have money, but I do have a life. Nearby Hua Mengmeng. Aren't you dead? Where did your life come from? A bunch of idiots indeed. Nearby majestic presence. In the end, although the group was unwilling, they still paid the ransom. People had to lower their heads under someone else's roof. They couldn't afford to offend an NPC with intelligence. Most importantly, they had a rich guild leader. They didn't lack money. As for the other few, although they weren't from Dream of Shitang, a ray of sunshine still paid for them. $10,000 was spent in minutes, and a ray of sunshine didn't seem to feel bad. But being robbed by an NPC? To be honest, it was too embarrassing. They definitely couldn't tell anyone. Nearby, Hua Mengmeng, why aren't you leaving? Shisheng finished counting the money and realized that these people were still lying down and chatting. What's wrong with them? Nearby a ray of sunshine. The scenery here is good. Let's chat here and talk about our dreams. Nearby Hua Mengmeng. Oh. Shisheng lifted her skirt and sat beside a ray of sunshine's corpse. Nearby, Hua Mengmeng. What's your dream? Nearby a ray of sunshine kill you. Asterisk please vote. Monthly votes. Recommendation votes. Monthly votes. Chapter 621. Shisheng immediately gave a ray of sunshine a look of disdain. A ray of sunshine was furious. Why did he look down on him again? He refused to accept it. Was his dream not great enough? None of the players in the server had managed to farm it. Nearby, Hua Mengmeng. Do you think I'm that easy to farm? She did not know if the previous Hua Mengmeng was easy to farm. But from today onwards, she promised that no player would be able to get the first clear, unless she went easy on them. Nearby a ray of sunshine. It's because you're not easy to farm. That was why his dream was so great. Get the first clear and defeat the boss. Nearby, Hua Mengmeng. So how did you bring so many people in? Maps that had not been cleared were not open to the public, unless they were teleported in through dungeons. This array of sunshine did not respawn or go out. He just laid there like a corpse. There must be something wrong. Nearby a ray of sunshine. Why should I tell you? You're from the game company. A ray of sunshine reacted quickly, and was not led astray by Shisheng. After all this time, he still wanted to ask him about the bug. How could he say something like that? Nearby, Hua Mengmeng, your people are here. A ray of sunshine adjusted his vision, and saw a few people rushing into the small monsters outside the square. If they wanted to enter the square, they had to kill their way through the small monsters. Shisheng sat beside a ray of sunshine, and placed his scepter on a ray of sunshine's chest. A ray of sunshine was furious. How am I supposed to revive like this? Shisheng smirked. It's to prevent you from reviving. The most annoying thing about RMB players was that they could revive indefinitely. Shisheng waited for the people over there to rush in, and used a skill on them. They were wiped out. All the players. You're not following the script. What's wrong with the developers? They haven't even started fighting yet. Why did they use such a big skill? How could they defeat her if this continued? Nearby Hua Mengmeng. Since you like this place so much, then stay here for a while. Shisheng asked the palace to tie these players to the pillar in the middle of the square. Even if they revived, they would find that they could not leave this pillar. When they logged out and logged back on, they would still be on this pillar. The players were in trouble. A ray of sunshine could not take it anymore. They would not get anything if this continued. Nearby a ray of sunshine. There's a bug here. As long as the people inside don't leave the dungeon, those outside who have a special relationship with the team, such as master and disciple, can form a new team and teleport in. They had discovered this bug by accident. They did not expect that before they could use this bug to defeat the boss would discover this bug. There were a total of 3 main cities in Chaotic World. Among them, the West Hill was the most prosperous. A ray of sunshine brought his guild members back, and many players looked at them strangely on the way. It's a pity that it's in the map and I didn't manage to screenshot it. Otherwise, I would have been able to make money. Being stripped naked by the boss, ha ha ha. This joke is enough to make me laugh for a year. Look at the girl beside a ray of sunshine. Who is she? Someone noticed that there was a girl beside a ray of sunshine. She was very pretty, the kind of face that would make people fall in love with her at first sight. I didn't see her ID. She's so pretty, so there's no way I haven't heard of her. Could she be a newbie? Why can't I meet such a pretty girl? You have no money. Private, a ray of sunshine. Great boss. Why didn't you stay in your nest? Why did you come out with me? That's right, this girl was Sheng. After hearing a ray of sunshine's bug, she did not report it. Instead, she used the bug to escape from the map. As mentioned before, NPCs could accept quests. Since they could accept quests, they could definitely form a team. So in the team mode, Sheng really came out with them. Then the boss ran away. Where could the players who wanted to kill her find her? Private, Hua Meng Meng. The world is so big, I want to show off. Private, a ray of sunshine. You're an NPC. Why are you learning internet slang? What are the developers thinking? Is showing off something an NPC like you can do? Let me do it. A ray of sunshine was tired. Fortunately, Sheng left their team when they arrived at Xiling City. It was really scary to have to carry a level 80 boss. A ray of sunshine had just returned to the guild's base. A sentence floated above his head. World, the Great July. I think I saw Hua Meng Meng. After this sentence, there was a reply about 3 seconds later. World, a man's true colors. Are you sure it's not someone with the same name? World, your daddy is online. Players and NPCs are not allowed to have the same name. So, July, are you sure you're not seeing things? Shinju Palace has not been cleared yet. How could Hua Meng Meng appear here? This is not logical. World, July's underwear. If you said you saw her, then you saw her. You won't say anything. Will you update today? World, July's baby. Boss, where are you? World, July's fire. Confess, boss. World, central air conditioner. July always brings his own fans. I want such fans too. Where can I buy them? Give me a dozen. World, the Great July. It's really Hua Meng Meng. A living Hua Meng Meng. World, Hua Meng Meng. I've never died. The world was strangely quiet for a few seconds because of Sheng's message. World, a man's true colors. Is this the Hua Meng Meng from Shinju Palace? World, Hua Meng Meng. Or is there another Hua Meng Meng? World, your daddy is online. Hua Meng Meng, how did you come out? No one has cleared Shinju Palace yet, right? The NPCs in this game could go anywhere. Sometimes, some players would go to the world to find an NPC. But without a clear map, the NPCs could not go anywhere. World, Hua Meng Meng. Daddy, I flew out. World, looking at retard. This Hua Meng Meng is so arrogant. World, pig is beautiful. Why do I feel like she's a player? NPCs don't have such high IQ, right? They knew that NPCs could go to the world, but they needed to spend money to do so. But NPCs basically had no money. So where did Hua Meng Meng get the money? Was she really not a fake player? World, a man's true colors. Hua Meng Meng, do you dare to report your coordinates? World, Hua Meng Meng. What? Do you want to worship your daddy? World, your daddy is online. The producers are good. They dare to release such an NPC. This NPC is enough for me to play with for a year. At this moment, Sheng was in a wild map in Xiling City, watching the female lead being tortured. He was also provoking players in the world. This was the self-cultivation of a boss. There was a player beside her. His ID was the Great July. He was the one who brought his own fans. This game was an advertisement. It was to restore the most realistic Jianghu. So there were many professions. As long as there was something in Jianghu, it was here. Assassins, swordsmen, bandits. July's profession was an assassin. He was wearing a flashy outfit. He did not look like an assassin at all. He looked like a courtesan. Chapter 622. Hua Meng Meng, why are you standing here? The Great July walked around Sheng curiously, and asked while rubbing his chin. To watch a show. The Great July looked at a group of people not far away, then retracted her gaze. Aren't you an NPC? How do you know how to watch a show? I'm an intelligent NPC, not a retard. Shisheng rolled his eyes. You're blocking me. You'll offend people easily if you talk like that. The Great July puffed up her cheeks, looking very cute. I'm an NPC. Who am I afraid of? Shisheng snorted arrogantly. The Great July. That's so reasonable, I can't refute. NPCs don't drop levels, they just drop some equipment when they're killed. Once the system refreshes, new equipment will immediately replace them. Who am I afraid of? You know her? The Great July turned her attention to Lu Jin, who was opposite her, and suddenly exclaimed, Isn't this the rumored girlfriend of the Great God? The Great July excitedly pulled the world channel and started streaming. Below, a group of July's XX flooded the screen. Where did this girl get so many retarded fans? Flip's table. Why didn't I have any? I want retarded fans too. A Lifetime of Peace was very famous. A group of people were kneeling down and praising him. The name he mentioned, even if it wasn't very popular before, must be very popular now. Lu Jin was surrounded by people because A Lifetime of Peace said in the World Channel that she was his woman. At this moment, the Great July was still broadcasting. Immediately, people rushed over to the coordinates to pay their respects to the woman who had caught the eye of A Lifetime of Peace. Just what did she look like? She doesn't look that good. I'm prettier than her. How did the Great God like her? Her level is so low. Could it be someone's smuff? No, I heard that her skills are terrible. She doesn't even have common sense. The originally empty map suddenly flooded with people. The Great July's popularity was probably very good. Many people greeted her. Shisheng was standing beside her. It was inevitable that some people would take a few more glances. Shinju Palace was not a place that anyone could enter. Usually the first clear of a dungeon was taken by a few big guilds. The entrance to the dungeon was guarded 24 hours a day. Nobody could enter at all. Shisheng hid his ID. So many people did not know Hua Mengmeng. July, who is this girl? A man with a man's true colors on his head squeezed through the crowd and walked to July. Judging from his attire, he was probably a scholar. Being a scholar was the most useless of all. However, when paired with a man's true colors and a face that wasn't too crooked, he could be considered to have a bit of scholarly air. The Great July pouted and didn't say anything. The man looked at the Great July suspiciously. Suddenly he pointed at Shisheng and shouted, Hua Mengmeng. Why did I call you daddy? Shisheng looked at the man with a fake smile. Man's true colors voice immediately attracted the attention of the others. Hua Mengmeng. It's true. We have her screenshots. F*CK Hua Mengmeng. Does killing her here count as the first clear? I don't know if it counts as the first clear, but it's definitely the first clear. The first clear might drop the Moon Shadow Scepter. The players who had been watching the female lead moved to surround the Shisheng. A man's true colors, are you stupid? The Great July looked at a man's true colors hopelessly. She shouted so loudly that everyone could see her now. Nearby, a man's true colors. Seeing Hua Mengmeng alive was unavoidable. Was it his fault? Nearby, a ray of sunshine. Didn't you say you were here to see the Great God's woman? Why are you all surrounding Hua Mengmeng? Nearby, you'll suffer. Compared to the Great God's woman, of course Hua Mengmeng who will drop the Moon Shadow Scepter is more popular. Boss, you're being stupid again. Nearby, majestic presence. Boss has always been stupid. Nearby, you'll suffer. You're right. Because there were too many people, the people behind could only type on the public chat. Everyone was talking at once, and soon, a ray of sunshine's message was pushed to the top. Shisheng's side was completely surrounded. Some people were already eager to try. No matter how good-looking Shisheng was, she was just a walking equipment warehouse. Kill her and drop her equipment. The players had already started calling their own guild members. The people from the various guilds rushed over, and the various colors of the guild emblems dyed the entire map in a variety of colors. The people from Dreams of Shitang squatted at the back and whispered, Team Majestic Presence. Boss, aren't we going to kill her? Team A Ray of Sunshine. Haven't you seen the power of the Moon Shadow Scepter? Only idiots would go up there with such lethality. Team, you'll suffer, so many idiots. The people over there had already started fighting. Just like what a ray of sunshine said, a lot of people died. The power of the Moon Shadow Scepter was incredible. Team Wanderer's Novice Wolf. Don't you think she's a bug too? Not only was her IQ higher than other NPCs, she even went to the World Channel to provoke players. He had never seen such an awesome NPC. Team A Ray of Sunshine. Will she drop the Moon Shadow Scepter if we kill her outside? Team Majestic Presence. Can we kill her? Team You'll Suffer. Of course not. Team Wanderer's Novice Wolf. Did you hear what he said? This was probably the highest number of deaths in one go since the server was launched. There were corpses all over the map. Among these corpses, there was only a young girl holding a scepter, looking down on everyone. Such abnormal behavior was immediately reported to the game company. They could still understand if you killed a few people. Damn it, you killed so many people. They would not believe that there was no bug. They felt like they were back in the beginner's village. Even a level 1 monster could kill them. Because there were too many reports, the server was temporarily suspended. Some people were forced to go offline before they could react. The corpses all over the map disappeared. Only Shisheng was left. The empty map was a little creepy. Soon, she saw a few NPC avatars walking towards her. How did this Hua Mengmeng run out of Shinju Palace? Maybe it's a bug. We have to check to know. I've seen the data just now. Her damage is frighteningly high. It doesn't match her initial settings. Shisheng allowed them to discuss in front of him. In the end, someone tried to attack Shisheng. Shisheng used a big move, and a few NPCs fell to the ground at the same time. Nearby NPC 1, nearby NPC 2, nearby NPC 3. A few NPCs resurrected at the same time. Before they could stand up, they fell to the ground again. Get up. Lie down again. Get up again. Continue to lie down. Nearby NPC 1, something's wrong. Nearby, NPC 2. NPCs were not allowed to attack NPCs unless it was a mission. But this Hua Mengmeng attacked them one after another. Asterisk little fairy. Take it easy. If you break this world, you'll die. Shisheng. I'll die then. Let's meet in the next world. Little fairy. I'm telling you, you can't think like that. Shisheng. Then give me Feng Xi. Little fairy. It's okay. Do whatever you want. Shisheng retard. Chapter 623. A few coders laid there silently for a while, and then disappeared. Not long after, they came back and found that Shisheng was gone. But when they checked again, there were no abnormalities. Shisheng was in Shinju Palace, and all the data was normal. A few coders changed the strange data back and thought it was a system error, so they did not pay much attention to it. There were too many bugs in the game, and they worked overtime almost every day. The game returned to normal quickly. As soon as they went online, they talked about what happened in the World Channel. They were relieved after confirming that it was a bug. If the boss was so strong, they would not be able to play the game anymore. This incident was soon covered by other news. There were still people who formed groups to farm Shisheng. But they were wiped out by Shisheng every time. World, where are you, wife? Hua Mengmeng can't clear it. We've been wiped out 3 times. World Majestic Presence. What's 3 wipes? We can't even count the number of times we've been wiped out with 10 fingers. World A Man's True Colors. Is there something wrong with the game company? Who can clear such a difficult dungeon? I heard that if this dungeon is cleared, the later maps will not be updated. World, your daddy is online. The game company is suppressing the update. If we clear the dungeon too quickly, they will have to update the later maps. It's obvious that they're doing this on purpose. Daddy has seen through their evil intentions. World Central Air Conditioner. It seems that the great god has not cleared it yet. World A Man's True Colors. Which great god? World Central Air Conditioner. A Lifetime of Peace. World, your daddy is online. The great god has not cleared it yet. The discussion in the World Channel turned into a one-man show for A Lifetime of Peace. Shisheng blocked the World Channel and walked out of Shinju Palace. ready to watch the female lead. Now she did not need players to bring her out of Shinju Palace. She changed the data and changed her own attributes, so that these people would not want to farm her as soon as she went out. She could not even watch the female lead. Nearby cold and lonely, 30 books entered PM. Nearby I Lujin can I? Nearby cold and lonely, enter. These messages were sent a minute ago. Shisheng looked around and saw a team in front of an NPC. There were only 4 people in the team. One more person was missing. Shisheng didn't even think about it before he sent an application to join the team. The other party quickly agreed to Shisheng's request. Shisheng immediately ran over. The man in the lead was cold and clear. He looked rather cold and aloof. Lujin looked adorable. She blushed as she looked at Shisheng and smiled obediently. Hello. Her voice was clear and melodious, very pleasant to the ears. Shisheng glanced at her and nodded slightly. Why can't I see your level? A girl named Searching and Seeking, who was standing beside Cold and Cheerless, suddenly spoke up. She said with some dissatisfaction, we can't even see his ID. What's there to hide? It's not like it's his real name. Shisheng had also changed her appearance, so she was wearing a different face now. These people didn't recognize her. My level is higher than yours. Shisheng looked at Sunmi with a faint smile. I's real name would scare you to tears. Ever since she came over, this girl had been sizing her up with a guarded expression. Cold and quiet, searching and searching. It was obvious that they were a couple. Sunmi's expression changed slightly. This was the game's setting. High-level players could hide their levels. Low-level players couldn't see it, but high-level players could still see it. Team Cold and Clear, listen to my commands later. A message suddenly popped up in the team chat. Sunmi glared at Shisheng and walked to Cold and Clear's side without saying a word. No one in the team had any objections. Cold and Clear directly opened the dungeon. When the map was transferred, everything went black. When they opened their eyes again, they were in a new map. The 30 dungeons were all low-level dungeons. Cold and Clear was probably carrying Sunmi. After all, Cold and Clear was almost level 75 while Sunmi was only level 22. When they were clearing the dungeon, Cold and Clear didn't speak at all. Shisheng observed the female lead's movements. She was indeed terrible. Hey, do you know how to play? Sunmi angrily roared at Lujin. The monsters beside them had already rushed over. Just as they were about to pounce on Sunmi, Cold and Clear suddenly appeared beside her, and jumped to the side with her in his arms. Lujin was a flop. Shisheng. Poor female lead. Lujin had a resurrection item on her. She climbed up from the ground, and continued to fight the monsters without saying a word. Sunmi tried to find fault with her a few times, but Lujin ignored her, and continued to fight the monsters. Finally, when the boss fell, Sunmi immediately went to loot the body. Regardless of whether the items dropped were useful or not, she directly kept them. She had no intention of taking them out. Team above, girl, aren't you being immoral? Another guy in the team was dissatisfied. The items dropped from dungeons were either distributed according to demand or auctioned. Not only did Sunmi slack off the entire time, but now she directly took all the items. She was worse than Lujin. The 30 dungeon items weren't worth much, but this kind of behavior was very disgusting. Team Sunmi, my husband is carrying me. Of course the items are mine. Team Cold and Clear, no leave. Cold and Clear's attitude clearly showed that he agreed with Sunmi's words. Above angrily cursed and left the team. Player, Lujin has traded you a fire bracelet. Do you accept? A trade window suddenly popped up in front of Shisheng. Shisheng. What was going on? Why did the female lead suddenly give her something? Private, Lujin. I just secretly looted 2 items. I'll give you 1. Shisheng clicked decline. Private, anonymous, it's useless to me. Private Lujin. Oh. Lujin closed the trade window. While the two were talking, Cold and Clear pulled another person over. The few of them went into the dungeon again. Just like before, Sunmi picked up all the dropped items. Not even a scrap was left behind. Every time, Lujin took advantage of Sunmi looting to loot the corpses. Normally, the corpses could only be looted once. Lu Jin's account was a lucky account. Even if she had been looted, she could still loot something. This player was obviously more patient than the previous one. He probably just wanted to level up, so after a few more attempts, he left the team without a word. Shisheng felt that there was no point in doing this, so he also left the team. As soon as she left, the team name above Lu Jin's head also disappeared. I carried you guys for half a day, but you didn't even say thank you. Sun Mi sneered. Lu Jin was a bit confused, but she still thanked Sun Mi. Shisheng face-bombed. This female lead is so adorably silly. Asterisk little fairy. I've been writing for half a day, but you guys didn't even give me a ticket. Cherub. I've already voted for you every day. Little fairy. Not enough. Cherub. You're stuffed to death. Little fairy. As long as it's a ticket, I'm willing to die. Cherub. I give up. Chapter 624. After Sun Mi and Cold and Lonely left, Lu Jin immediately approached Shisheng with a smile. What do you need? I'll see if I have it. There really was a type of person who could forget everything that happened a second ago and not care about others. Shisheng would think that this type of person was a retard. But this retard was too cute. What do you have? Shisheng asked with a faint smile. Oh, Lu Jin was probably rummaging through her bag. After a while, she posted a bunch of things on the nearby channel. It was a mess. There were all kinds of things. So many things, wouldn't they take up space? What do you need? Lu Jin asked Shisheng stupidly. Shisheng. This boss doesn't lack anything. Aren't you afraid that I'll rob you? Shisheng suddenly revealed a sinister smile. How did the male lead teach you to show your things to a stranger? If it was him, he would definitely make Feng Xiai not talk to strangers. Lu Jin blinked. If you're so strong, why do you want to rob me? Because you're easy to rob. Lu Jin. Lu Jin's level was low, but because of her account, she actually had some good stuff on her. So robbing her was a very smart choice. It saved time and effort. I'll give you whatever you want. Just don't kill me. Lu Jin looked at Shisheng pitifully. She didn't want to drop levels anymore. Leveling up was so hard. Shisheng almost couldn't breathe. My female lead is so amazing. Aside from being a little dumb, this female lead probably didn't break down. Shisheng thought for a moment. It seemed that the dumb female lead didn't break down that easily. Why? Was it because she wasn't smart enough? That was very likely. After all, it took a lot of intelligence to break down and scheme against others. If she was dumb to begin with, then she would probably be the one to fall into the trap. Area, a lifetime of peace, Lu Jin. The male lead's ID suddenly popped up in the nearby channel. Shisheng subconsciously looked around. From the southeast direction, he saw the male lead flying over arrogantly. The male lead was a swordsman. His clothes were elegant. As the male lead, his attractiveness was naturally top-notch. Coupled with that cold expression that kept people 1,000 miles away, he was a fresh male god of abstinence. A lifetime of peace landed beside Lu Jin and sized up Shisheng. Nearby, a lifetime of peace. Didn't I tell you not to talk to strangers? Oh my. Very good. This was very in line with the style of a domineering CEO. Lu Jin didn't respond for a long time. Shisheng observed Lu Jin's facial expression. The female lead was probably struggling with whether she should reply or not. Area, a lifetime of peace, speak. Guru. Lu Jin called out weakly and explained in a low voice. This sister was with me just now. She's not a stranger. Nearby, a lifetime of peace. Did you turn a deaf ear to what I said? Shisheng. Oh my god, I'm so scared. Even through the screen, she could feel the male lead's possessiveness. Yes, this was very domineering. Lu Jin was in a dilemma again. A lifetime of peace pulled Lu Jin away. She didn't look at Shisheng at all. Shisheng was speechless. I was such a big person, but he treated me like air. World a man's true colors. F***ck, where did Hua Mengmeng go? I finally reached the end of the game, but Hua Mengmeng wasn't there. Vomiting blood. World a ray of sunshine. It's time to prove that I'm ugly. World a man's true colors. A ray of sunshine. Don't look for trouble. World, a man's true colors. You guys from Dream of Shitang didn't even fight her. What's there to gloat about? World, a ray of sunshine. I'm looking for your sister. World, you'll suffer. We finally saw Hua Meng Meng. World, Hua Meng Meng. Why are you looking for me? Sheng returned to the world while walking towards the edge of the map. World, a ray of sunshine. World, majestic presence. World, a man's true colors. Hua Meng Meng, where are you? Come back and die. It was not strange to look for a boss in the world, but it was strange to ask a boss where she was in the world. Sheng looked around. It was quite desolate. The map only showed the coordinates, but there was no name. World, Hua Meng Meng. Come find me if you can. You want I to go back? I will go back? That's so shameful. I'm a boss with dignity. World, the Great July. I'll give 101 points to this boss. I'm not afraid of you getting arrogant with one more point. World, Hua Meng Meng. You can give me 200 points after rounding it off. World, July's underwear. Pht. World, July's underwear. Pht. World, July's baby. Big Daddy, I've seen someone more shameless than you. Pht. NPC. World, the Great July. I've learned something new. World, Hua Meng Meng. Postures are meant to be done. World, your daddy is online. I saw such a shocking piece of news as soon as I logged in. It's so filthy that the system doesn't even need to ban me. World, your daddy is online. No, the person above me is Hua Meng Meng? Shocked and horrified world. Hua Meng Meng, you're right. It's me, your daddy. World, your daddy is online. Hua Meng Meng, I don't think I've offended you. Why was she always targeting him? He didn't go to Shinju Palace to farm her, nor did he scold her. Why was he on the NPC's blacklist? World, the Great July, because of your avatar, Hua Meng Meng, am I right? World, July's underwear. Because of your avatar, Hua Meng Meng, am I right? World, July's underwear. Because of your avatar, Hua Meng Meng, am I right? World, your daddy is online. What's wrong with my avatar? Angry. World, a man's true colors. Hua Meng Meng, come back quickly. I'm waiting to farm you at Shinju Palace. A man's true colors was furious. Playing games with intelligent NPCs was really tiring. Moreover, he couldn't insult the NPC, or else he would be blacklisted by the NPC. When he farmed the NPC, he wouldn't be able to drop anything, let alone accept missions. He was just that capricious. But he had to admit that it was much more fun than those fixed games in the past. World Ancestor, stop fooling around. Hua Meng Meng, a man's true colors is waiting for you to go back and pamper him. Just fulfill his wish. World, a man's true colors. F***CK beep. World, Hua Meng Meng. No, I'm too poor. World Ancestor, stop fooling around. Ha ha ha. World, oh my god. Are NPCs nowadays so materialistic? World, the Great July. So you must have money to farm Hua Meng Meng? All players have received a malicious message from the development team X1 World. Your daddy is online. I must complain. I must complain. NPCs are discriminating against strong players. World, Hua Meng Meng. You're welcome to complain about your daddy. World, your daddy is online. World, the Great July, ha ha ha. World Ancestor, stop fooling around. I'm laughing so hard I'm about to faint in the toilet. World, the Great July, above, please pay attention to your avatar. Just as these people were making jokes, Sheng had already reached the end of the map. If he continued to walk forward, it would be darkness. Chapter 625. When Sheng returned to Shinju Palace, the man's true colors team was still clearing the monsters out of boredom. Hua Meng Meng is back. The first player who saw Sheng yelled, and the others immediately looked in the direction he was looking at. The leaves of the parasol trees on both sides were lush, and the light and shadow shone on the narrow path paved with bluestones. A blue figure passed through the mottled light and shadow, and gradually approached, and the hazy face became clearer. Hua Meng Meng's face was virtual, so her beauty was almost flawless, and anyone who saw her would fall head over heels for her. Of course, that was if she was not an NPC. Normal people would not like a string of data. Hua Meng Meng, you're still willing to come back. The man's true colors used his jumping skill to block Shisheng on the narrow path. You're all waiting for me to kill you. Of course I'm coming back. Shisheng's mouth curved into an arrogant smile. Who's going to die first? The man's true colors wanted to scold Shisheng. But when he thought about it, he would be blacklisted if he scolded her, so he held back. What's the use of arguing with an intelligent NPC? It was all the game company's fault for setting up such a weird boss to trick the players. Game company. We won't take the blame for this. The normal process was to clear the monsters outside Shinju Palace, then clear the elite monsters inside Shinju Palace, then the small boss like the Protector, and finally Hua Meng Meng, the final boss. But the man's true colors team had not even started to clear the monsters, and they were all defeated in an instant. Nearby the man's true colors. Nearby I'm pregnant. Nearby waiting for Misty Rain. Nearby I'm waiting for you. Nearby split. This boss did not follow the rules. Complain. I must complain. So Shisheng's data was checked by the programmer again, but the result was still the same, nothing unusual. The most important thing was that the game's settings did not follow the rules in the first place. In the end, the conclusion was given. NPCs were intelligent, and sometimes they would react according to the player's words and actions. The game could not be static, so the players were asked to explore on their own. The players. They wanted to give up on this game, although they were reluctant in the end. Every day, the players on the World channel to tease Shisheng, but in the end, it was the players who were teased, and the game became Hua Meng Meng. Private chat, a ray of sunshine. A lifetime of peace is going to kill you. A ray of sunshine sent a message early in the morning. Before Shisheng could reply, a ray of sunshine's messages kept popping up. Private, a ray of sunshine. You can't let a lifetime of peace pass. I didn't pass, so you can't let him pass either. Private chat, a ray of sunshine. In any case, I'm your friend who told you about bugs. Private, a ray of sunshine. Hua Meng Meng, are you there? Private, Hua Meng Meng. A ray of sunshine seemed to know a lifetime of peace's movements like the back of his hand. He even knew when he would come to farm. A lifetime of peace's gang was Swift Shadow. When Shisheng had just arrived, he had seen its name in the world chat. Later on, he heard players mention it. Although it wasn't the biggest guild in the server, it was a very strong guild. The lowest level of players was 70. More than half of the hero rankings were from Swift Shadow. Oh, that's not right. The lowest level now is 30. The female lead has joined their guild. As soon as a ray of sunshine said that the time was up, Shisheng received a system notification that players had entered the dungeon. The map of Shinju Palace was very big. Other than her palace, there were a few more stages ahead. And the world chat showed 100% interest in Swift Shadow's Shinju Palace dungeon. Swift Shadow did not manage to clear the dungeon the first time. After that, they never cleared it again. This time they would definitely be fully prepared. World, your daddy is online. Can you clear the dungeon and get the first kill this time? World, the Great July. If Hua Meng Meng is a normal NPC, you can definitely do it. But is Hua Meng Meng a normal NPC? World, Hua Meng Meng. No, I'm a godlike existence. You mortals can only look up to me. World, majestic presence. Hua Meng Meng, can you still go to the world chat? World, Hua Meng Meng. Because I'm an NPC. World, Jianghu's novice wolf. Evil privilege. A bunch of players expressed their disdain for Shisheng. They were alive when they entered the dungeon, so they could not go to the world chat. But in NPC mode, they could still show off in the world chat. They were unhappy, gave him bad reviews, complained. World, the Great July. Am I the only one who noticed Hua Meng Meng's Chinibu lines? World, July's underwear. Daddy, there's also a nest. Will Daddy drop an update today? Acting cute. World, July's underwear. Daddy, there's also a nest. Will Daddy drop an update today? Acting cute. World, the Great July. Yes, I've decided. I clenched my fist. Whenever I kill Hua Meng Meng, I'll drop an update. World, Hua Meng Meng. Get ready to be eunuchs. World, the Great July. Hua Meng Meng, can you treat a cute player like me kindly? World, Hua Meng Meng. I'm an honest NPC. World, July's underwear. Daddy, we're going to team up to clear you. World, July's underwear. The team is ready. The Great July did not speak in the world chat anymore. World, your daddy is online. Hua Mengmeng. How's the progress of daddy and the others? Shisheng was standing on top of the map, looking at the male lead and the others who were clearing monsters below. He also returned to the world chat. World, Hua Mengmeng. I'll tell you if you call me daddy. World, your daddy is online. World, your daddy is online. Daddy. Shisheng quickly took a screenshot and uploaded it to the world chat using the system's screenshot function. The angle of the screenshot. World ancestor, stop fooling around. Daddy, this is bad. That Hua Mengmeng is standing on top of them. It's scary just thinking about it. World, oh my god. This dungeon is toxic. Hua Mengmeng is toxic. Shisheng was live streaming a lifetime of Peace's progress in the world chat. In the past, they had to use other software to watch the live streaming of keyboard games. In holographic games, they could only watch the videos recorded by others. This was the first time they had a live streaming of a lifetime of Peace's progress in the world chat. When a lifetime of Peace reached the outside of Shinju Palace, Shisheng did not stop the live streaming. After all, she was going to show off. Shisheng stood at the entrance of Shinju Palace, looking coldly at the male lead and the others who were killing their way over. Finally, they stopped in front of him. Lu Jin was being protected at the back. She was looking at Shisheng curiously. Her eyes were filled with amazement. Shisheng did not use this face last time. Of course, Lu Jin did not recognize him. A player named Swallow Returns who was beside a lifetime of Peace stepped forward. Palace Master Hua, I brought a letter from your husband. He asked me to pass it to you before he died. Yes, that's right. This dungeon had a storyline. This was the line. Shisheng raised his chin and said arrogantly, no. Swallow Returns choked. Shouldn't the storyline continue? It was like this last time. How long had it been since they last came here? Why did the boss's line change? Asterisk, please vote. Chapter 626. A lifetime of Peace glanced at Shisheng coldly. Shisheng looked at him fearlessly and said, my husband died a long time ago. Did he send me a letter from hell? Swallow Returns was dumbfounded. How was he supposed to answer this? Swallow Returns suddenly saw a lifetime of Peace's lines on the team channel and immediately read it out. He knows that he let you down, so he wrote a letter of regret. Palace Master Hua, even if you hate him, you should read what he wrote. How do you know it's a letter of regret? Did you peek? Puffed. Swallow Returns was speechless. Who designed this plot? Could it be that the lines for the second time and the first time were different? Private Swallow Returns. Boss, your planning department really knows how to play. Private, a lifetime of Peace. There's something wrong with this boss. Let's take a look again. As the boss of this game, and the one who made this game for Lu Jin, a lifetime of Peace knew all the details. But this boss's setting was too strange. It was completely different from what they reported previously. When they first came here, other than her strength, there was nothing special about her. Cough cough. Palace Master Hua. We saw your husband write this. We didn't mean to peek. Swallow Returns continued reading a lifetime of Peace's lines. Shisheng was surprised. That's awesome. You guys can even walk. Swallow Returns. What walk? After a while, Swallow Returns remembered Shisheng's lines. She said her husband died a long time ago. No, he had to slow down. This boss was not something he could handle at all. Swallow Returns retreated and typed in the team channel, expressing that he could not handle such a weird boss. No matter what a lifetime of Peace said, Shisheng could twist his lines. He just did not follow the plot. The normal plot was that she would suddenly fly into a rage after reading the letter. Then she would attack the players. Team Lu Jin, Guru, Hua Mengmeng hates her husband. It's understandable that she didn't accept the letter. Why don't we read it to her? Lu Jin was careful with her words, afraid that she would say something wrong. Team Swallow Returns, Little Jiner is right. We can read it. Anyway, this letter was just a tool. Its purpose was to let the boss hear the content inside. Team A Lifetime of Peace. Try it. Lu Jin breathed a sigh of relief when she saw the words, "A lifetime of peace." Fortunately, she was right. Swallow Return immediately took the letter and began to read it. To my wife. So many years have passed. I wonder how you are doing. I know that I have sinned deeply, so I don't ask for your forgiveness. Swallow Return's voice stopped abruptly. The skill light was still flashing in front of his eyes. The word "team wiped out" floated above their heads. It was blood red and incomparably mocking. Flip's table. You attacked just because you said so. At least give me a hint. Goodbye, I won't be seeing you off. Please come again next time. Shisheng waved at them with a smile as he broadcasted the ending live on the World Channel. My boss is amazing, he even knows how to greet guests. A lifetime of peace's party exited the instance dungeon. The party stood at the entrance of the instance dungeon, silently looking at the various strange messages floating in the World Channel. World Central Air Conditioner. I just got online. What happened? Please explain. World, the Great July. I told you that the guru wouldn't pass. World, you'll suffer. Reality has proven that it's not us who are weak. It's Hua Mengmeng who is too strong. World, your daddy is online. This boss is poisonous. A lifetime of peace said a few words to a few people and asked them to help Lu Jin level up. He then hurriedly went offline. In the huge office, the red light of the game cabin flickered. Suddenly, the red light turned into green, and the door of the game cabin opened automatically. A tall man came out from the game cabin and walked into the room beside it. After a few minutes, he came out with a suit. Liang Bing walked out of the office directly and went to the company's planning department. The planning department was having a meeting at the moment. Liang Bing pushed the door open and entered. The people who were arguing with each other immediately stopped and looked at Liang Bing. Liang Bing only glanced at the door and turned to leave. A man inside stood up, waved to the others and left the meeting room. Why are you willing to come here? Meng Jia closed the door of the meeting room and asked the man standing beside him with a smile. He joked. You're not in the game, so you're accompanying your little beauty? Last time you told me about the new AI system. What's the difference between this system and the previous one? Liang Bing's voice was very magnetic. Meng Jia saw that Liang Bing's expression was not very good, so he also became serious. It can make NPCs closer to the players. There won't be any loopholes like the previous one. It can also make the interaction between players and NPCs more realistic. Meng Jia blabbered on, not caring if Liang Bing understood or not. I don't dare to say that this system is the best in the world, but it's definitely the best in the country. I've tried it myself. There's no problem. Meng Jia finally patted his chest and promised. Liang Bing nodded slightly and strode away. Meng Jia touched his head. He was a little confused. Was he here to ask him about the system? Since a lifetime of peace's team was wiped out, Shisheng had a nickname, the Cruel Spinster. Because of this, Shisheng and a group of players started a discussion in the World Channel. World, Hua Mengmeng. Why did you give me the nickname the Cruel Spinster? It doesn't match my beauty. The Cruel Spinster is a nun. Which part of me looks like a nun? These idiots actually gave me such an ugly title. Only a title like, the strongest boss could match my temperament. World Central Air Conditioner. Hua Mengmeng, you praised yourself so seriously. I almost believed you. World, Hua Mengmeng. I'm not as beautiful as a flower? World, your daddy is online. Beautiful as a flower is used to describe humans. You're not a human. The Cruel Spinster fits your image very well. World, you'll suffer. Hua Mengmeng is actually quite pretty. None of the female players in the server are prettier than her. The development team's brain must have been hit by a door. If a boss is so pretty, won't the female players tear her apart? In terms of beauty, she could not be compared to a boss. Although she did not want to admit it, this was the truth. She was really pretty. World, Hua Mengmeng. I'm a legend with both strength and beauty. Kneel down and kiss me. World, your daddy is online. World, you'll suffer. World, a ray of sunshine. World, the Great July. Hua Mengmeng, don't act cool. You'll be struck by lightning. World, Hua Mengmeng, strike me. It's not like I've never been struck by lightning before. I'll get used to it. I'm not afraid. World ancestor, stop fooling around. The cruel spinster's skin is as thick as the Skeleton King's blood. The Skeleton King was a level 70 boss. His HP was so high that it made one's hair stand on end. Even if a few players worked together, they would not be able to defeat him. When they fought this boss, a group of players also cried for their parents. Fortunately, the Skeleton King was not as crazy as the cruel spinster, who would provoke them in the World Channel. World Hua Meng Meng, fuck. The cruel spinster, you bastard. World Central Air Conditioner. Why didn't the system block her? World, your daddy is online. NPC's privilege. Complain. I must complain. NPC's privilege? Why? Chapter 627. In the end, Shisheng gave the players a beating, but the title of the cruel spinster was destined to remain. Now the daily routine of this group. World, your daddy is online. The cruel spinster, come out and play. World, a man's true colors. The cruel spinster, come back and die. World, a ray of sunshine. The cruel spinster, please go easy on us, let us pass. With your attitude, you still want to pass? Dream on. World, searching and seeking. Lu Jin, you shameless woman. Not only did you seduce the Almighty, but you also seduced my husband. If you need a man so badly, why don't you sell yourself? The voices of the cruel spinster suddenly disappeared. Lu Jin was protected by the Almighty. Now that she was suddenly on the World Channel, gossip began to spread. World Little Chi. Lu Jin interfered in other people's relationship, shameless bitch. World searching and seeking. You must be blind. If you don't give me an explanation today, I'll not let you off. Lu Jin did not speak. Shisheng was a bit baffled by this. How did the female lead become a mistress? The female lead was being scolded, but what about the male lead? Shisheng searched for a lifetime of peace, and found that a lifetime of peace was not online. Tricks, it was all tricks. When the female lead was being bullied, the male lead would never be online. When the female lead was being bullied, the male lead would appear to save the damsel in distress. Searching and seeking was scolding more and more vigorously in the World Channel. The whole World Channel was under her control. Shisheng was originally hiding in a group of monsters in the wild map. She was an NPC and belonged to the same camp as the monsters, so these monsters would not attack her. Just as she was engrossed in the World Channel, a light flashed in front of her eyes. Then Shisheng saw Lu Jin fall in front of her, a group of monsters drowning her. Shisheng dispersed the monsters and walked to Lu Jin's side. You came here to commit suicide? This method of suicide was very special. Nearby Lu Jin. I just accidentally walked into the wrong place. Awkward. Lu Jin was lying down. She could only hear Shisheng's voice, but could not see her. She just felt that the voice was familiar, but she could not remember where she had heard it. This is a level 70 wild map. How could you walk into the wrong place? Nearby Lu Jin 70? I didn't notice. Shisheng. Very good, female lead Darren, you've attracted my attention. Lu Jin had a resurrection item on her. She got up on her own and patted the hem of her dress, which had nothing on it at all. However, when she turned around, she saw Shisheng's gorgeously dressed face. She gasped, her eyes widened and stuttered. Hua Meng Meng? She actually encountered a boss. Oh, will I be eaten? No, the boss doesn't eat people, but I will die and lose levels. Lu Jin's heart ached at the thought of dropping a level. There are people scolding you in the world chat. Why don't you reply? Shisheng ignored Lu Jin's fear and changed the topic. Lu Jin looked surprised. Shisheng watched as she fiddled around in the air. Well done. The group of girls were scolding her with all their might, but the female lead didn't even open the World Channel. After Lu Jin finished looking at the world, her expression became more and more confused. I didn't do anything. Why are they scolding me? Lu Jin looked at Shisheng innocently, completely forgetting that the person standing in front of her was a big boss. Go to the World Channel and scold them back. Shisheng egged her on. The host was looking for trouble again. Lu Jin's face was full of confusion. After fiddling for a while, she looked up at Shisheng innocently. I don't have enough gold coins. Pft, male lead, you're abusing the female lead. You don't even give her money to spend. NPC Hua Mengmeng has traded you 100 gold coins. Do you accept? Although Lu Jin accepted it, she quickly traded a piece of equipment to Shisheng. It would be worth about 100 gold if sold. Shisheng had just finished looking at Lu Jin's equipment when he saw Lu Jin's message in the World channel. His mouth twitched. World Lu Jin. There's nothing going on between me and Cold and Lonely. Don't talk nonsense. World searching and seeking. There's nothing going on? If there's nothing going on, why didn't you come out and say anything? Lu Jin, you be *tch, are you feeling guilty? Stealing someone else's husband, you bitch. World princess. Don't be angry, Sun Mi. What's there to be angry about? World in last night's dream. Asking for Lu Jin's coordinates. World Lu Jin. There's really nothing going on between me and Cold and Lonely. Lu Jin's explanation was weak. The World channel was full of searching and seeking's relatives and friends, taking turns to attack Lu Jin. It was probably because Lu Jin was in a vegetative state in real life, so her IQ had decreased. It could be seen from her childish tone and behavior. Moreover, she didn't seem to know the male lead. This meant that her memory was also problematic. Maybe she only remembered that her name was Lu Jin. Lu Jin closed the World channel angrily. Why can't they tell right from wrong? What did you do with Cold and Lonely? Messing around behind the male lead's back? Aren't you afraid that the male lead will lock you up? Nothing. Lu Jin felt wronged. This morning, I was doing a dungeon run with someone. I found a zither. When I was leaving the dungeon, I met him. He wanted to trade with me. I thought that I have no use for it, so I gave it to him. Who knew that they would say that about me? Lu Jin was also very confused. When did she hook up with Cold and Lonely? Are you stupid? Shisheng looked at Lu Jin as if looking at an idiot. Zither were priceless. There were only 2 of them in the entire server. The dungeon run wasn't high, but it was a growth type. Some players couldn't get it even after hundreds of tries. If you took it out and sold it, you could easily sell it for tens of thousands. Lu Jin. What was wrong with her? Oh my god, you're still looking at I so innocently. For the first time, Shisheng felt lucky that he wasn't the male lead. Meeting a female lead like this, he could get a heart attack from anger. It was also lucky that her Fengxi's IQ wasn't that high. Shisheng was in a good mood, so he gave Lu Jin a lesson on the zither. At the same time, he maliciously speculated about Cold and Lonely and searching and seeking. I think these 2 are putting on a show. First, they'll give you the title of hooking up. Later, even if you say that you're making a trade with Cold and Lonely, no one will believe you. Did you save a screenshot of your trade? Lu Jin shook her head dumbfoundedly. They wouldn't do that, right? Why? Why? That's money. What if you tell the male lead and he finds out that you've been cheated and takes revenge for you? Wouldn't they be in trouble? In order to not be in trouble, they would strike first. Of course, this was only a possibility. But it didn't stop Shisheng from maliciously speculating. You're hopeless. She didn't even save a screenshot of her trade. Without a screenshot of her trade, she couldn't explain anything. But they can't just slander me. I didn't do it. Lu Jin puffed up her cheeks. Her tone was so childish that Shisheng wanted to laugh. They can kill people as they wish, not to mention slander. This was a game world. Lu Jin looked at Shisheng in surprise. Her pink lips moved. After a while she said, Aren't you an NPC? How do you know so much? Shisheng. Thank you so much, female lead. Only now did you remember that I was an NPC. You're tuning in to the Earbook Haven YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.